How's it, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Web3 show. I'm your host, Philip Kalinko, joined by my friend Kate Bergman, and together we bring you Freestyle Fridays. A reminder that nothing we say is financial advice. We are not financial advisors, and if you haven't noticed already, the Web3 space is incredibly risky. We got a jam-packed show today. We're going to be talking about how you can trade Bitcoin ordinals on a marketplace. We're talking about the Arbitrum Airdrop. We're talking about Coinbase SEC fighting. We're talking about SEC fighting with the entire crypto universe. We're talking about SEC fighting with all the YouTubers. We're talking about Playboy being the one fucked this time instead of doing the fucking. We're talking about BitBoy Crypto and his legal battles. And we're talking about Immutable and Polygon and the latest banking crisis. I see we got a bit of feedback going on here.
That's from the spaces, I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. How are you, my brother? Welcome back. How was LA?
I'm good. Hold on. Let me
I'm gonna sort it out. Yeah, I think it's my side.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm also
to be honest. Give me one second. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll turn off my my mic, guys, for 1 sec.
Okay, let's try now. How's that, Kate?
I'm gonna turn it back on. All right, guys. What's up? What's up, Philip? Say some things, bro. Say some things.
Yeah, lots to talk about. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So yeah, we've got lots happening. I want to also give you guys an update on the banking crisis and everything that's happening over there. How are we doing, Kate? We okay on the sound?
Guys, say a couple more things.
Yeah, I'm also getting feedback here. Give me 1 sec here. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. All good. All good. 1 sec, YouTube. 1 sec, Twitter. We're gonna get this shit sorted. Just give us a couple seconds here. I just came back from NFTLA and got some things to talk about. But I literally flew in like a few hours ago, so I'm like a literal chaotic mess right now. But I'm excited to get fucking into it, bro. I am very excited to get into it. Lots of things to talk about from LA. Lots of very, 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 very interesting things to talk about there. Some new developments, maybe a new leg, maybe potentially the sequel, maybe potentially exactly what the Joys needed. We're gonna talk about it today. And I don't really hear any feedback, but maybe it's just because it's my mic and it's not coming through StreamYard or Philip. Also, check out this new mic stand, bro.
Yeah, it looks good. I think we should be good to go now, my brother. Let me know if you've got any feedback coming through your side.
Yo. Checking. Say some stuff.
I think we're good. I'm going to jump straight into the market update.
Got it.
If you start here, all right, good. All right, everybody, market update. So, look, it's been a tumultuous week. We did have a 25% basis point increase by the Fed. I think it was pretty much priced in for the most part. Everyone was expecting it. You get those percentages of what percentage chance there is of a 25 basis point rise versus a 50 basis point versus a 0. And the vast majority did expect a 25 basis point rise. Quite interesting that he was quite hawkish when he delivered. He said, look, they are committed to getting the 2% inflation. And they're not going to stop until they get there, pretty much. And yes, there is, a couple of banks that are crumbling, but they are committed to doing this. So, we did see the market react quite violently, up and down as it always does. As he was talking and he was a bit hawkish, it went, down. As he became a slightly dovish, it went up. But overall, he's on a path, and he's not deviating from that path. 25 basis points is where it was at, and we did see the markets react. Today there has been a recovery. We've got the S&P up slightly, the Nasdaq down slightly, but overall the stock market is pretty flat. Overall on the week it's up though. And if we have a look here, we did have UBS buying Credit Suisse. So there was this emergency deal, and this was really quite interesting because initially UBS had said, look, they're not interested at all in buying Credit Suisse. And then they had an emergency meeting over the weekend, last weekend, and they came to an agreement at the end of it to buy Credit Suisse for 3.25 billion. The interesting thing about this is that the government has said to them that there will be a backstop for them as well. So the government will help them if they do need assistance, if UBS needs assistance. And also compared to the market price of Credit Suisse at the time. So those of you who are with us on YouTube, I'm busy sharing actually an internal note sent to all UBS clients from UBS when they acquired Credit Suisse on the 19th of March. They sent this out to all of their clients. I actually happen to be a UBS client, which is why I got this. And they were saying this is why they did it. They said it was an attractive financial terms, which includes downside protection and a very significant liquidity support provided by the SMB. UBS strategy doesn't change. It includes growth plans in the US and APAC, adding scale to our leading global wealth and asset management franchise with $5 trillion in invested assets, strategic global banking businesses to be retained, majority of Credit Suisse market positions moved to non-core and exited alongside Credit Suisse NCU and SPG units, and that UBS remains very well capitalized, and they're confident in this. But the interesting thing is that the share price was about 1.5 francs at the time, and they ended up paying almost half of that. And that was after Credit Suisse had already collapsed pretty much. And they've got a huge amount of downside protection by the government, 25 billion francs. Which is actually unbelievable. So yeah, look, they wouldn't have done this deal if they didn't believe it was a good deal. It makes them the number one bank in Switzerland, the UBS, with over 5 trillion francs of assets under management. So this is really interesting. I haven't seen before almost like a forced bailout, the government coming in and saying, look, you're the second biggest bank or you're the biggest bank, bail out this bank over here and we'll sort of help if it doesn't go the way you expect it to go. Yeah, man. So I found that really, really interesting. And just to keep in the market update here, before we jump on for comments, have a look here at Bitcoin sitting at $27,840. Down slightly on the day, but still very, very strong on the week. Ethereum at 1,750, also down slightly. We did see with the Arbitrum Airdrop that there was a massive bump in pricing on crypto. And then today, the market's pulled back slightly. We got Solana sitting at $20.50, still a bit of FUD over there. We've got Arbitrum, which we're going to talk about, sitting at $1.30. We've got Blur at 50 cents. We've got Gala sitting at 0.04 cents and Ape sitting just under $4. And that, my friends, concludes the market update.
Bro, that was fucking beautiful. Let me zoom myself in a teeny tiny bit. And we're good. Nice. Dude, yeah, holy shit. I missed most of the things going on in NFT land just because I was out running around being a DJ with Andres, but holy smokes, so much stuff has happened, like so much stuff has happened. And the news of the government, so I know we're going to talk about, I know you have segments on it, like the TikTok thing, the thing in like the courts, and you do, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Like that stuff is going to be crazy to hear about. So I don't even want to say too much in the beginning just because we're going to have it for all the segments. But guys, I'm very, very excited. If you haven't already, smash the likes for us. Subscribe to Philip's YouTube channel. If you're in spaces, likes, retweet, or no, just yeah, likes, retweets, tag people, let people know that we're here. We're going to get into it. You guys know we have like a hour, 2 hour stream sometimes. And we get into all the things. There's a lot to talk about.
For sure. So let's start with the Arbitrum airdrop. This was a massive, massive airdrop in the end of it. You're looking at, if you're saying that the price is $1.50 on average, it's about $1.40 currently. And it's almost like a $10 billion valuation. I think, again, absolutely not financial advice, but if you look at the size of them compared to similar airdrops, and people who know a lot about this are saying $1 to $1.50 seems to be fair value. But always directly after an airdrop like this, it does take some time before the market sort of settles and you get to see the price. There's usually a pullback as people sell, and over weeks, then it sort of finds its level, and then it tends to slowly start rising if they continue doing good things, or completely dumps if they do bad things. But Arbitrum's one of the better ones for sure. We did see when it came out, it went as high, and this is common, but it went as high as about $15 at a stage as it came out, and they had massive problems. The website crashed. Guys weren't able to claim. So if you were one of the first people to claim, there was this lack of supply because other people couldn't claim, and there was a good 10 minutes when it was trading at $10 to $15, which is absolutely incredible. But that is like standard with this sort of thing. And then slowly they have been increasing the claims. The claims have been coming out quite nicely. And as we say, now sitting at about $1.30. So yeah, man, this was big. This was really big, Kate. A lot of people got a lot of money. And straight as it was happening, we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum climbing. Obviously, people converting their Arbitrum into Bitcoin and ETH mostly, which is incredible.
Yeah. Did you get to claim? I forget if you said it right before, but did you get to claim any? Because I didn't get any.
I didn't get any. I checked all my wallets, and I hadn't. I don't know. I thought I had. There was the dates in the beginning. If you were too early, you also didn't make it. So it's possible, but I had to check all my wallets, and none of them were eligible, unfortunately. But people got on average at this current price, as it is now, at $1.50-ish, people got about $5,000. For very few steps, doing about 9 different steps, but quite basic, bridging, doing a couple of transactions and things like that. So hindsight 2020, bro.
That's literally the game. You guys remember if y'all remember OpenDAO, I think it was OpenDAO, one of those, or Looks Rare. If y'all were like early ones on that, if you were here, probably subscribe to me and Philip's YouTube channels, because we probably covered it within 24 hours. Like I was on top of it quick, and I pulled out a good 2K, just like literally doing nothing. I was like, bro, what just happened? So if you guys remember that, smash the likes for us, retweets.
There was also the SOS one, which was big, but I actually think, Kate, that this is the biggest that there has been. Hey, I really do. I mean, it's just from a market cap perspective, it's definitely bigger than 99% of them at the very, very least. I mean, this is big. This is really big. I mean, what, $7 to $10 billion was airdropped at current value. Say that again. I didn't hear you so well.
Why do you think this one just mooned so quickly, and why did it even take it all? For people who don't know, there's like a ton of airdrops that happen. We only hear about a select few of them that either do really well or really bad, and they just catch the news for whatever reason. Why do you think this one took off so quickly?
Look, it's got huge support. I mean, and it's a very, very notable chain. And people are excited about it. It's really supposed to be. I mean, the irony is that the chain couldn't handle the claims, and that was a bit bearish on it. But I mean, overall, people who know a lot about tokens and the crypto side of things have been very excited about not the airdrop. They have been excited about that, but just Arbitrum in general, the blockchain itself and the ecosystem and what they're building. So yeah, man, but absolutely massive and really good for the space. The guys who were able to claim to get $5,000 that you never had before, that you could either pull out and convert to fiat, or if you wanted to, you could have converted it to crypto. It's good. It's good for the space. It's good to see.
Yeah, bro. I could use the little $5,000 airdrop for no reason. That would be nice, dude. What would you do if you just got 5K dropped into your wallet?
I think I'd pull out half of it, and I think I'd keep half of it in different coins. Um, you know, maybe keep a little bit in Arbitrum, put some into ETH, obviously, Bitcoin, Solana, maybe Gala Games, a bit of Ape, those sort of ones, the ones that I typically cover in the beginning of the show. Yeah, so pull out half and then play with the rest. Then you're pretty much playing without money because you've actually pulled out the equivalent of what you're gambling with, you know.
True, true. Yeah, I probably would have bought out my contract and then moved to LA today if I had a $5,000 airdrop that had happened. That would probably be what I do.
Incredible. I want to hear more about your trip, but I just want to finish off here. So we got Blur
Yeah.
in the last 24 hours down to 25 million, OpenSea 8 million, X2Y2 700,000, Immutable X 600,000, CryptoPunks 590,000. If you add that together, I'm always just taking Blur and dividing it by 4. That's how I'm sort of estimating what it really is. So it's pretty much equivalent in my mind to OpenSea if you take out the bid farm. And, there's maybe 20, 30, 40 big guys like Nahi Big Brother who are just trading all day against, the other couple of big guys who are just trying to farm this airdrop. So I would say 8 million Blur, 8 million OpenSea. You're looking at about 17, 18 million overall in the market. So definitely crypto volume is down. And if we have a look at the last 7 days, we had an other deed sell for 280 Ethereum, other deed land number 2118, which is absolutely incredible. We had a CryptoPunk, a hoodie CryptoPunk, this guy over here, sell for 209 Ethereum, which is $368,000. We had a Bored Ape Yacht Club sell for 150 ETH, and a Spirit Zuki sell for 143 ETH, another CryptoPunk for 125 ETH. So, even though the market is definitely down and floor prices are definitely down, there are still very big sales going on in the space. And if we just want to have a look over here, I just want to change this completely to Ethereum. If we have a look at the collection stats, so we've got Wrap CryptoPunks at number 1 in trading in the last, let's change this to 24 hours actually, will be better. Sitting at a 61 ETH floor price. You got Mutants sitting at a 12.5 ETH floor price. They're in number 2 spot. Other Deed sitting at 1.5 Ethereum. Pudgy Penguins at 4.4. Bored Apes at 57 Ethereum. Clone X at 3.2 ETH. Doodles at 3.4. Renga at 1.08. Azuki at 12.7. And Moonbirds at 3.5. That's your top 10. And that's where they're all sitting. So definitely in ETH terms, the floor prices are down across the board. However, in US dollar terms, they're not, because Ethereum's trading at 1,800, which is, if you think usually they were sitting at 1,213 on ETH when we were looking at your Bored Apes at 85 ETH and your Mutants sitting at 16. So it all comes out in the wash. US dollar terms, they're sitting at a very similar level to what they were.
Damn, dude. Yeah. I haven't been when we were in the events, like it didn't actually come up as much, like which project people were in, other than just Bored Ape Yacht Club, Yuga's ecosystems, right? Like when especially at the in real life events, when you're talking to people, there's some people actually rocking Bored Ape Yacht Club IP, and they like made like someone had this big Letterman jacket and was wearing it. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I posted it, I think, and it was beautiful. Like literally the piece was incredible, and I was like, wow. And me and Andres were there. We're like, do you use this for other IP building stuff? And he was like, no, this is for fun. And I was like, damn, that's some true Bored Ape Yacht Club shit right there. He's just bored. He just does whatever he wants. But that's cool. As far as the top projects though, man, it's more the same, I guess. I'm actually surprised at how quickly Doodles faded. I literally paid my editor extra to be like, yo, I need this video. I need you to edit some clips from my podcast from 2 years ago, just to like get a little bit of context on Jordan, because I feel like it would be helpful, and it's also good timing. And by the time he got the clips to me at the end of the day, people had moved on, bro. I was like, God damn it. I was like, God, I got like one post out before it all just like people moved on. But anyways, dude, yeah.
Okay, just some what's it? Housekeeping. Am I still in the Twitter space?
Yes. Yeah, you're close. And do it. It's beautiful. I don't know, whatever you did to fix it in the beginning worked. So if everyone give me a
Okay,
thumbs up,
good.
if everything is good to go still in spaces, I don't know if you guys were here just out of the goodness of your hearts, or if the audio is actually just that fucking tremendous. But give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if everything's good to go still.
Yeah, so for the
Yes.
Spaces
Okay.
guy, thanks for joining us. We're going to continue doing Spaces as well as YouTube simultaneously on Fridays. Always, when we get to the end, we'll ask if anyone's got any questions or anything, and people can come up on the Spaces. If you want to see the screen sharing where we're going through and showing what we're talking about, you can always join us on YouTube. But however you join us, thank you for being here. Also streaming live to LinkedIn, Twitch. Twitter, streaming live video to Twitter,
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
So we really are on, I think, almost every platform, which is awesome. Okay, are you ready for the latest news, my brother?
Brother, I am so beyond ready.
Awesome. All right, so I've been bullish on Magic Eden, bro. Ever since you and I have been doing this together, what's that now? Probably 6 to 8 months. Magic Eden is, for me, one of the most responsive marketplaces in the space. They are the quickest off the mark, and we've seen that yet again. Magic Eden is the first official marketplace, notable one, that is now offering Bitcoin ordinals on their platform. So you can trade Bitcoin ordinals safely on Magic Eden. They rolled it out this week. Again, there have been one or two new marketplaces that have come up specifically for Bitcoin ordinals, but of the big boys like your OpenSea, X2Y, Looks Rare, Blur, all of those, none of them are doing ordinals at the moment except for Magic Eden. And if you have a look here, you can see at the moment you can buy your Bitcoin DGods, which Cade, you were right. They sold out, my brother. Never mind, did they sell out? They sold out in 2 minutes. They sold out that collection. Last week we were talking whether we thought they would or wouldn't. They sold out in 2 minutes. I do need to make one correction over here. When I did the stream and I worked out the price of 0.33 Bitcoin in US dollars terms, I gave the wrong price completely. So they ended up
Oh,
raising $5 million and not $13 million. So that's a very, very big difference. I mean, it's still, $5 million is incredible. But I don't know. I mean, I was working it out while I was doing the stream. I must have pushed something wrong. But they're sitting at 0.88 Bitcoin. So they almost 3x at the moment of mint, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Um, but just so cool that you can actually trade them over here. And then we've got a few others like Ordinal Punks here, Bitcoin Apes, Bitcoin Frogs. It reminds me of the early days of ETH, actually. It's just funny to see some of these collections. So it's not automatic yet. So it doesn't mean that every single ordinal that comes on the Bitcoin blockchain is going to come on Magic Eden. It takes them getting in touch with them and manually actually listing them like they've done over here. They have said in time they do want to make it that it's automatic. There's also no marketplace fees at the moment whatsoever, because remember, with ordinals, it's literally inscribed onto a Satoshi. There's no space for a smart contract. So there's no way to enforce anything like that, like there is on ETH, at least at the moment. So yeah, man, Magic Eden, the first official major marketplace to allow Bitcoin ordinals.
so before I rack in my I told you so, I will say if we had the math right, it would probably have been a completely different conversation between us two. It would have been way more. For me, it would just double down on what I already thought, but you even potentially would have just changed your entire opinion. I mean, 5 million to 13 million, that's
Yes.
literally 2.5x different. So, anyways,
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to just even sit on this point at all is because people like Frank and people with the brand of like go do stuff and ask questions later and see what happens is very similar to the Joy Age, where it's like go on your spiritual journey, just go take the chance, roll it. You guys know, roll the dice on yourself and ask questions later, basically. And when you have that kind of brand, it's relatively like hard to fail because everything you kind of just snowballs and you just move on. You take it, you take it, you take it. That's why Gary Vee's brand is so addicting, you know? And with this brand, like even if they failed, it would have been fine. They would just kept going because they're like, yo, look, we're trying to like push fucking mass adoption for Bitcoin. Like, how is this possibly have failed? Then people would have been like, oh, fuck it. And they would just bought more probably. And you, when you see that, it's almost like that quote, like real recognizes real. It's like, yeah, you see that and you're like, they're going to win. Yeah. Just long enough time scale. The people who are watching who actually kind of matter, they're the ones who are paying attention, and they're the ones who matter, and they're the ones who are not just going to be swayed by left and right. Whatever, headlines pop up the next couple of weeks, it really is unaffected. I mean, they don't give a shit, dude. I mean, they were there, bro. I felt the vibes of DeGods. I didn't even go, and I felt it. It rippled, bro. Like people, like I could overhear people talking about it. Like it was cool, and it wasn't even that the event was cool. It was just, bro, like literally the vibes were like, yeah, man, it's cool. They're gonna make it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So I do agree with you. I think, whereas I was thinking the mint price was $25,000 and mint price was actually, under $10,000, that would have made a difference to me, my thesis on it. We also compared it to Yuga's 12-fold ordinal mint. And again, we were using those figures. So I do agree. I will say, the longer I stream with you, the more I realize that you have an intuition in the space that very few people have. You really, really do. So there's a lot of obvious things that everyone feels that I've felt. For example, when Moonbird came out and Kevin Rose, and I got caught up in it, and I thought this was the next Bored Ape Yacht Club, and you were the sober voice, and you took a lot of flack for it in my comments. A lot of guys, Kate doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever, while they went and spent 20 ETH on the Moonbird, and you were right. And it comes down, you've been talking DeGods for a long time, and Utes and all of that, and I'm still waiting. I will still, and again, I'll be proven wrong. That's fine. I'm still not sure that Utes moving to Polygon was the right thing. I know you're super bullish on Utes more so than DeGods, and as we go along, I'm thinking, well, I must listen more to Kate. But you were spot on the money last week with these guys. I mean, you've been shouting DeGods and Utes from the rooftops for the last 6 months consistently, and here we go. I mean, they just raised $4.5 million in a bull market. In an absolute bear market. When mints can't even do anything. So either way, just for all those naysayers there, yes, maybe Cade is not buying Yuga assets and doesn't know everything about the big blue chips. When it comes to having his finger on the pulse and having a complete intuition for the space, there's very few people that have as much of an intuition, including myself. Very few people like Cade does. So all you guys can go jump in the lake. My man Cade knows what's happening over here. I'm not going to list every time that Cade was wrong. But he was definitely right here with regards to DeGods, and he was also right with regards to proof and many other things. So well done, my brother. I'm very proud of you. And also, you don't take the road that everyone takes. You're not scared to say that bullshit. I don't care if it's Kevin Rose. I don't care if it's Moonbirds. You go, you say what you feel. And I love that about you, and I respect it very, very much. So yeah, but I was happy to see this. I was happy to see that DeGods did this. I mean, this one alone went for 1.33 Bitcoin, well over the floor price, about 40% over the floor price. Just incredible to see. We've had almost 600,000 Bitcoin inscriptions. So just separate to DeGods, just on the Ordinals, there's now 6,000 NFTs, 600,000 NFTs that have been created on the Bitcoin blockchain since February, which is incredible. So yeah, man, just nice to be early to something in the space,
Yeah. God damn, bro. Yeah. 100. Well, first, thank you for saying what you said. That was really nice, just coming from you. It's also why the show works, because it's like I have a different perspective. I don't like almost fit into like every category, but like then I just like, it's the second I almost fit in, I just like and I run away and I go somewhere else. But it's cool because I am learning the trading sphere, and it's like now that this extra time has opened up, and the streams of income haven't changed. Like the only difference is now I have this extra time, literally beginning tomorrow. Like tomorrow is my last shift at the Yard House, so I can't even tell you how excited I am to just like be mentally free. Not that I was a prison or anything, but to like have that extra time and space now to do what I do best. Basically, just lean into my intuition, which is something I've been learning to do more in the last few months. And you've been helping me, and even giving me props sometimes, which helps me keep going and surf the wave that. Just not even looking back, but also every time I take a chance and roll a dice, I realize that like every time I learn something on that decision to roll the dice, that someone else right before me did that. And whoever was, 5 steps ahead of me rolled the dice just like I did and learned the exact same things I just learned. And now they're where they're at. And I'm looking at them like they know something else. And I'm like, bro, they're literally the same person as me. There's no difference. That's why LA is so, I feel like everyone moves to LA because they want something. And I'm like, no. I just feel exactly at home. Like I would talk to so many people on the street and I'm like, bro, why am I not here right now? Like you're doing exactly what I want to do on the daily basis. There's no place I'm trying to go to where we're trying to like get and like scratch our way to the top. It's like, bro, you're just out here filming content because you like filming content, and who knows if there actually are or not. I love doing that stuff, and it's electrifying. And the people, my point there was that like people at the top, you know, people who are on stages doing these panels, bro. Some of them are very, very fucking intelligent. Some of them are just like you and I, bro. Just normal ass human beings. Whether or not maybe we are super intelligent.
Oh, hold on. I'm fucking intelligent. I'm the guy that's
You know what I mean? People who are like when I say that, I'm like Elon Musk is like, we think there's a difference there, and like there's literally just not. Like they're literally the same people, and we just saw that happen with all these tech companies crumbling before our eyes, and we're like, wait a second, we thought you guys were so smart and like you guys had some extra thing, bro. We just saw Do Kwon get arrested. We just saw FTX. He's sitting in court in a prison cell right now. I'm like, bro, these people are exactly like you and me. The only difference is they pulled the trigger. You know, they pulled the trigger and we were all terrified. And that was me a year ago. I probably could have dropped a collection. Half the reason was because I literally didn't have my shit together enough to even think about it. But the other reason was literally I was just too nervous. And I was like, I don't know if I can handle that, you know? And that can go into smaller decisions. Like, I don't even know if I can go to the gym because I feel anxious today. Like, they all kind of bleed into each other.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure, my brother. And yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that as you get older, you realize that the road that you thought was unique to you has been traveled many times, but it's never been traveled your exact way. That is the difference. So yes, people have rolled the dice on themselves and gone all in on themselves, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of times. But no one's grown up, decided to leave house and vlog their way in their car on a journey and start this. Like it's not exactly the same, and that's what makes you, and then what makes everyone themselves. But it just made me think, when I had the twins. And I had like barely any time, and I was looking after them, and God knows all that health stuff that we had and all of that. But what's incredible is that because I had all this additional financial responsibility and all the rest of it, even though I had so much less time, and I was really spending a lot of time back and forth to the hospital and with Bianca and trying to do a million things, business actually like almost doubled because you had to. There's no choice. And I feel it's the same here, like with you, going all in again on yourself and, the guaranteed income that you were getting from the restaurant now saying, okay, I'm walking away from that. That's just going to push you. Whereas you would think that might make income go down, and maybe in the short term it goes down slightly. Within a month or 2 or 3 months, you'll find that it will go up because you have to. There's no other choice. You've thrown yourself in the deep end. You know what I mean? And it's sink or swim. And I do know you, and I do know that you're the swimmer. So, you know me. I believe in you. You're going to do it, my brother. Someone who's not swimming at the moment is Mr. Do Kwon. He's not swimming. He's been arrested. It's taken a while. Obviously most people in the space know, but just a brief background. Do Kwon was, one of the heroes of crypto. Founded Terra-Luna, and was really a poster boy, similar to SBF, really, until everything came tumbling down, and people lost, cumulatively $40 to $50 billion was lost through Terra-Luna's collapse. And the founder, Do Kwon, has been, sort of, it says on the run, but apparently, it depends who you ask. Either way, he's officially been arrested. South Korea has confirmed that he's been arrested, and he's seeking extradition. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Damn, dude. And yeah, I mean, it's perfect. First off, the transition was phenomenal. Secondly, the thumbnails was perfect. Don't need the extra words. Don't need extra nothing. That was a perfect thumbnail. Phenomenal. I love the fucking. Did you do this thumbs down, or did you already have that like stock?
I had it as stock.
That's hilarious, bro. That's beautiful, guys. If that doesn't warrant a fucking thumbs up, to be honest, then or a retweet. Like I don't even know what y'all are doing here anymore, because that was beautiful. And honestly, the show's getting better every single show. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like every single time we just snowball everything we just learn, we just add it in. The next thing for me will be adding the schedule or adding the calendar to my like a digital calendar instead of writing on the whiteboard. But as far as
Yeah.
Do Kwon here,
I saw something cool in StreamYard. You can do custom layouts now, which I'm going to play with as well. So you could like literally, you have to do it before the show, but I'm definitely going to play with it. So he was arrested, but another person who was arrested is Han Kang Jun. Also like was one of the chief executives of Terra-Luna. No one really talks about him. So the two of them are South Korean nationals. They were apparently traveling using forged documents. That's alleged. But Do Kwon faces multiple charges in South Korea, including fraud and violation of capital market laws after, Terra-Luna's collapse. And South Korean authorities issued a warrant of arrest for him in September. So that's 6 months he's been on the run at the moment. It comes soon after the co-founder Shin Hyun Sing, also known as Daniel Shin, was called for questioning in South Korea, and U.S. prosecutors have indicted Kwon on 8 charges. Yeah, indicted. Sorry, it's hard to see. The power went off. I don't know if you noticed here, and I've got different lights now. Yeah, anyone watching YouTube would have noticed. So we're running on battery power at the moment, but when it went off, it changed some of my light settings. So my light here is too white, and it's making me struggle to.
You look good.
See. Yeah, but I can't see so well on the screen. So
I see.
That's wrong. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Anyway, hopefully it will I'll get used to it. So yeah, man, what do you think? What do you think about this arrest?
So because I'm a content creator, I have the content creator lens on, these green shades, if you will. So I always kind of attack it like at a content creation angle first, and then I'll kind of break it down for people who are not making content as much. But for myself, the first thing that comes to my mind is I remember there's a couple different interviews that he went on a few months ago, right when this was kind of popping off. Then it sort of faded. The story kind of went away, and like we went on to whatever else life gets to. But there's a couple times where he went on an interview, and it was a girl, another Asian lady, who interviewed him. And I honestly can't remember. It doesn't really matter for the point I'm trying to make here, but I don't remember if she pressed him or she was kind of just like, oh, like, so glad to have you on the show. The one thing I will say is that, like, when you have that intuition on like whether this guy is kind of like on the run because he did something bad, and we all know, like, there's always like that gut feeling that you have. You're like, okay, this person, they're probably like a good person, but like, and maybe they believe what they're doing is right or whatever, but they did some bad stuff and they're about to probably go to jail kind of thing. And when you have that, you should press them, because you know that you're only going to have that limelight for like 2 seconds. And the second it fades away, everyone forgets and they forgive you and they move on. They don't even need to forgive you because they've moved on to the next story. They just want to hear your opinion on stuff. So if you're a content creator, hold your ground, ask a question. Just because you ask a hard question doesn't mean they're going to hate you. Some people might, and that's their problem if they do. It doesn't matter. Even if they do, they'll fucking forget about it in 2 weeks because someone else interviewed them. They'll piss them off, and that cycle will repeat for them. And it's totally not your stuff to worry about. But you should hold yourself there, because if you can do that enough times and you can snowball and collect that and get that archive of content and interviews and stuff, if you're interviewing people, you'll get that brand, and it takes a fucking long time. But that's my content creator piece for people who are doing podcasts and stuff, because a lot of people who watch are content creators. But if you're not a content creator, then damn, bro, we're all just eating popcorn watching this thing, bro. Now this is a different lens, Cade. Fuck, bro, this is kind of funny. This is like, goddamn, this motherfucker got caught. Like, let's go. Damn, bro. I mean,
look, I think
on it.
I think let's just make it very clear: everyone is innocent until proven guilty, for sure. There's a lot. I mean, even just traveling on false passports, if that is true, and just that alone, it's a criminal offense. I'm pretty certain. However, we've got to keep that in mind. Also, another thing to keep in mind is, even though you and I weren't affected, there's $50 billion worth of people who were affected by this, right? So maybe just in the corner your popcorn, but don't take it out in front of everyone because a lot of people would be affected by this. I don't know what recourse they're going to have.
Well, the story doesn't affect, like, this headline story doesn't so much affect their bags. The bags have been hit regardless, kind of a few months ago. So
sure.
Of course. I mean, we
also almost a year ago.
We also
more than
acknowledge that. Yeah, over a year ago, we even acknowledged that on the show. So if your bags are hurting, then fuck, that blows. But as far as this following the story now as it is, for the storyline, shit, man. I mean, same with SBX. We were just kind of like, yeah. I mean, also the fire's been kind of taken out, so it's kind of just like, like that's sort of the response I felt on Twitter too. It's like a relief rally, but like almost a relief rally. We're kind of like, oh great, like who cares? Same with like Logan Paul. When Logan Paul, either gets sued or has to pay or doesn't have to pay, like, bro, it's been 3 weeks. Like we don't care anymore. It's a few extra tweets, a couple of angry reply guys, and we're like, eh. But even no matter what the thing is, we're kind of like whatever, move on. So it's tough, dude.
For sure.
We don't know.
I mean, the wheels of justice do turn very, very slow. And so, I still think, even though this is one stage closer than we were before this, there's still, probably years and years of litigation before we actually get an outcome here. But yeah, very interesting. Then some more bullish news in the space. Despite our deep bear market, we've got Immutable X and Polygon announcing that they've partnered together. So, this is really big. They teaming up to expand their Web3 gaming ecosystem. So it's basically a strategic partnership between Immutable X and Polygon. They're going to onboard game studios and developers into Web3. So those of you that don't know, Immutable X is a Web3 gaming developing platform, and Polygon is the blockchain. Anyone who's heard of Polygon, it's a cryptocurrency, a blockchain, that is very favorable amongst gamers. And we even saw like Starbucks rolled out their reward program. They went on Polygon. All these big Web2 companies that are rolling out sort of Web3 related stuff, but in the Web2 world, and need a lot of transactions processed very cheaply and very quickly. Polygon at the moment seems to be their go-to blockchain. So that's why it's such a good match, is because for gaming it's perfect, because it is quick. It can Polygon is quick. It can handle a lot of transactions very cheaply.
I was gonna say, I just caught this real quick before you dive into it. When we had Bryson on, he actually mentioned that Polygon actually has officially moved into a game. Like they are gaming. They are a gaming studio. That's literally like people just kind of glossed over that headline because for some reason it didn't get shared. But they literally are a gaming platform now. That is what they are. That's what they are titling themselves to the world. I think even on LinkedIn they may have transitioned to that, but definitely on Twitter. So the guys, they're here to stay, and that's kind of why I was so extra bullish now after finding that out. Doubling down on my position on Utes, because I was like, bro, Polygon's making moves, and like whoever is doing stuff at Polygon, like keep doing your shit, dude. I mean, I don't know if y'all are gonna burn in a couple months because y'all been doing some back end stuff, but like as far as intuition stuff, bro, they got it. They got their hand on the pulse,
For sure. And I mean, I think what you said is very, very important, because Polygon is hanging their hat on gaming. They, by combining Immutable X and Polygon together, Polygon is the number one Web3 gaming platform. They are serving hundreds of games, studios, and millions of players every single month. They've got best in class, they call it EVM technology. Their president, Robbie Ferguson, said billions of dollars of skins are sold each year with no rights for players. We're changing that so that players are in control, and ownership is the expectation. So yeah, man, this is bullish. This is a very big story for the space. It's bullish for Polygon, it's bullish for Immutable X, and it's bullish for gaming in general. We mentioned Starbucks has rolled out on Polygon, but so has Reddit, so is Nike. A lot of Immutable X have partnered previously with GameStop, DC Comics, and Marvel. So you've got two giants in the space, in the gaming space. Web3 gaming space coming together. And I do think we're going to see more of this sort of stuff, especially in tough times like this, where companies are going to, with different strengths in the same space, are going to come together to really, build together something better than they could by themselves.
Yes. And just to throw our props over to Leap XYZ, I imagine he's going to have an 8-hour conversation about this. Just wanted to give props to people who have the right conversations, because guys, if you're watching this and you're listening to this space or on this YouTube stream, if you're watching it, you should be watching us on YouTube, but because you can see our beautiful faces, but y'all are not going to hear some of these stories, fam, from the big, okay, I don't even want to say that. You may not hear them on all streaming shows because it maybe isn't as sexy of a headline, which doesn't really make sense because this is a huge headline for the news. It kind of just depends what people care about. But diversify, fam, diversify your content, because these are stories that I wouldn't even see sometimes if it wasn't for Philip's like due diligence. Like literally, I would just skip over some of these things. So make sure you guys should tune in every single Friday, 12:30 p.m. PST, I think, with the time change. And then likes, retweets, best way to show support. But dude, holy shit, what a fucking statement there from Polygon. Again, literally every single few months, it seems like they're like, boom, Polygon, boom, like some kind of partnership, some kind of very like on the fucking money. Every time you're watching, you're like, who the fuck is writing this thing? You know, like who is literally writing this? And it's cool. It's really, really cool, man. I'm rooting for Polygon people. Would love to. I think there's someone I was supposed to have an interview with on somewhere at Polygon. But I do want to dive deeper into the Polygon ecosystem now, just because they're entering into our fucking world for real now. I feel like they were in the background almost, you know, because they almost wanted to be. And now they're like, okay, we're ready. We've kind of fucking been simmering for a little while. Like we're ready to enter, do some big statements, you know. I'm sure Frank will be behind a couple of these big marketing pushes. And then next thing you know, bro, Polygon NFTs are going to be mooning just like Bitcoin NFTs were, you know, and the God's youths are going to be behind it.
Yeah. I do not believe that Polygon NFTs will moon like Bitcoin NFTs ever. However, I do think that there's definitely a space.
Not in that same way. Not in the same way that Bitcoin's but in a different way.
Yeah, okay. Not from a value perspective. I get it. Yeah, look, there's definitely value in low priced bulk rollout of NFTs on Polygon. There's no doubt about it, for sure. So yeah, man, interesting. Speaking about
for like TikTok, there's a TikTok stream over here too. I'm trying to get it for everyone.
No worries, man. TikTok, they must follow me on TikTok. I've got like 130 TikTok followers, and I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking of not posting anymore because, you know, you were the one who talked me into it. I post daily two videos, and I know I'm not doing TikTok specific content and whatever, but I'm not so bullish anymore. I need some followers there. I mean, even the fact that you streaming now and there's no way to sort of put a comment to say, okay, follow Philip. That shows it's just behind. It just doesn't have what the other platforms have.
Yes, TikTok is behind a little bit on streams as far as like, because a lot of it's still beta. I'm like, bro, fucking roll it out. Like, what do you mean? Just like roll it out and see what happens after. But they got some beta things and it kind of stinks. But like right now, the only reason I roll this on TikTok is you're right. If you're not putting TikTok as a focus as far as content, like I did this mistake for not a mistake, but like it took me a year basically to almost run away from TikTok, a year of running away from TikTok, just using it as a place to recycle my content before I was like, why am I not getting followers? I was like, oh, it's because I'm not talking to the people who follow me. I'm literally just posting stuff and like throwing away footage at them. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, what if I just made a video where I'm actually talking to the people who are watching my stuff and follow me on TikTok for a reason? Bro, second I made one video like that, 20 times the amount of engagement. I mean, okay, 20 times. What I mean by that is like 5 likes. Now I'm getting 40. Huge difference though. Huge ROI. Same views, by the way. 300 views, 400 views, doesn't matter. But way more engagement. The only difference is instead of just recycling the content is I take that exact same story we're talking about today and just put a little screenshot and say, here's the exact same thoughts I talked about, but like boom. And you just like actually talk to the camera for a second. The same with the live streams. Like that's why, I mean, the live streams has gone up 300 likes and I haven't even like really, other than just these hearts, you know, and just like acknowledging every now and then, that's the only difference. And I'm getting like hundreds of likes still on the live just from that, like every few minutes, just saying like, yo, I'm here. Like that's what TikTok's about, dude. It's about that organic like connection, you know, versus like Instagram, they're a little bit behind, but I would say TikTok is ahead in that way. They're just not ahead on like certain technical things and numbers, but the numbers, bro, the numbers don't matter. Like you're going to get 300 views if you have 10,000 or 100 followers. Doesn't make it any difference. Like I could throw away 80% of my followers. It wouldn't matter.
It's interesting what Janex is saying. Yeah, you know, TikTok's going to be banned. So for those of you that don't know, I mean, this last week we've had a TikTok chief executive in front of Congress. He chose to come and testify. He's really been grilled. I mean, I feel that he's being treated unfairly here, to be quite honest. You know, there's been a lot of allegations against TikTok for a very long time that they collect a huge amount of data points and that there's nefarious reasons for TikTok's existence. in that the holding company of TikTok is, China government, and they are able to get location information and a whole lot of stuff. All their users give them that information willingly because it allows for a better TikTok experience. There's been a lot of talk for a very long time that the US is scared that this is being used to collect a lot of live data on a huge portion of the US population. So the chief executive of TikTok willingly came before the US House Energy and Commerce Committee, and he's really been grilled. I mean, yesterday alone, I think today even, they sat there for 5 hours grilling him on sex trafficking and all the sort of stuff that, honestly, any platform has got, positives and negatives. We've seen on Facebook, for example, terrible things happening on their live where, without Facebook knowing it, someone's gone and committed suicide on his live or murdered someone on their live. I mean, you can't blame the media outlet for the content that's being put out by open source people, like individuals who are entitled to do so on these type of platforms. And he really, really has been grilled on Capitol Hill, and I personally think I don't know. I mean, it's a bit heavy, to be quite honest.
Oh, dude, here's the thing: the guy who runs TikTok is a fucking smart motherfucker. He's out here documenting his process, getting grilled and skinned alive at the stake in front of the U.S. government, and then he comes on and makes a TikTok right after it, and the TikTok gets literally. Here's the funny part: the TikTok he films on his phone in his bedroom or in the office, wherever, that video will get 5 times more views than anything the media puts out. Anything, by the way, on TV, on a Super Bowl ad, doesn't matter where the fuck they try to put it out. The difference between TikTok and every other app is it will get the organic reach it deserves. Every time I put a video out that deserves to get more views, it does well. Even if I think it should do well. If it doesn't do well, that means I was wrong. If I put out a video, I'm like, this hits, and it doesn't, I'm like, shit. Wow. Maybe it didn't hit as much as I thought,
No,
but
for
here's
sure.
the thing,
But
though.
I mean, the thing is they might ban it. It might be banned in the US.
It's very possible, but I have no idea if it will. The thing is, I'm not. It's weird. It's kind of hard to put into words, but like even if it did, there's another. It's kind of like with water, like it seems, and it kind of like bleeds no matter what. Like even if this were to happen, there would be some loophole where you still get to kind of like, there's another app that you just kind of like. It just interlocks with TikTok and it works. I don't think how it's gonna work, but it's really, really smart, dude, because it sounds like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go in front of all these people and take the heat for all you guys. And bro, the kind of response we've seen in the public on by the way, from our Web3 culture people, which is just online people on the internet, on social media, versus like the news and the Web2 people will put it, they're starting to align, bro, by accident. Like the people at the top in the government are literally shooting themselves in the ass by doing this by accident. They're like trying to get these sound bites and it's backfiring. They're like, oh, this dude sounds so good. And the TikTok CEO is just sitting there like answering the question like he should, just like Mark did a few months ago, Mark Zuckerberg. Everyone's clowning on him now. And then now we're seeing the TikTok do it. And people are like, wait a second. We just saw Mark Zuckerberg do it and we were laughing at him, but now it's starting to make sense. This time it's a little bit different, but a lot of the things, the patterns are starting to come up again. And bro, they are just taking the heat right now. The government, it is one L after an L after an L. Oh,
yeah, lots happening for sure. So we've got Otherside second trip coming up in 2 days, or tomorrow actually, the 25th of March. So they posted this video. Yeah, it's always good video. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'm not going to do sound because of, but I'll do it without sound.
Sure.
So it's just basically, you can watch it here for the second trip. Seems to be more of a land than the first trip. Remember, the first trip was just white. Here they're showing some terrain, different avatars. Second trip.
Dude.
So that's what's coming.
That's cool. That is cool. People who are watching, dude,
cool.
like that's fucking lit. That's lit. Like we don't need to think about what's next or like what's coming up. Like, bro, that's cool. That's a cool post. That's a cool thing to just, be in there and be it. Wow. Love it.
And the cool thing is that if you do own other side NFT, and if you intend on holding that other side NFT, every time you go on one of these trips, that NFT's metadata gets updated as one that was present on these trips, and that
Mm.
will have some benefit further down the line. Obviously, if you buy NFT other deed off the secondary market anytime between now and when they launch it officially, you'll be able to see in the metadata whether that particular NFT has been on trips or not. But yeah, I mean, they're also saying that people can claim a guest pass. So, Kate, let's say I had another deed and you wanted to come. I can invite one guest to come with me who doesn't hold another deed, which I thought was really, really cool. Because
Wow.
a lot of people accuse other side of being, or Yuga of being non-inclusive. However, they've said for since the very beginning that the other deed will be an inclusive place. And we even saw in the very beginning when they promoted it, it was that spaceship with all the different NFTs inside of it. There was a cool cat in there, and I think even a world of women and a whole lot of other stuff. So they have outright said that they want this to be an inclusive place from the very beginning. But they're showing that with a small. Obviously, they can't allow more than a certain amount of people concurrently in this test. Last time there were 4,500 people in it. There's 50,000 NFTs. So theoretically, if everyone joined and everyone invited a guest, that's 100,000 people. They've got to keep it down at this point, but they do intend it for it to be a fully inclusive place when it does get properly launched, which is also really cool and bullish to see.
Damn, dude. First off, W on Otherside for even thinking about doing like a little Planet Fitness style, like bring a guest, bring a friend kind of thing. I love that, dude. And man, every single dude, honestly, like I really do need to start giving more. I feel like I say every single week now, but like we need to start giving for people who are haters, kind of like me, who hated on the Bored Ape Club ecosystem for so long. Man, they're only as good as their their previous big statement, because they're more of like a big statement type of brand. They are getting better literally every single time. It's like Gymshark. They took a big L. They went in a direction that maybe people didn't really want, and then they listened and they were like, hold on, okay, yeah, we'll take the L. We'll just roll with it. But like, watch our next step. Like, we are making differences. We are making changes to the brand, to the culture. And I'm feeling that culture a little bit more. Like, I don't hate mutant apes as much anymore. Like, that's lit, bro. I'm grateful for that. I met a couple of mutant apes that sucked in LA, but whatever. Like that's always gonna be part of the vibe. They're just like super all in your face. I'm a mutant. Like, look at my mutant ape. Who cares? But the brand of Yuga is really starting to evolve here and become something that they should be, and they always should have been. And I feel that. I feel that energy.
Yeah, for sure. And the other new thing that you can do over here, even if you're not a holder and you're not a guest, so you don't partake, you're able to watch live, which they didn't have before. So if you
Ooh,
go onto
very
their
cool.
website, secondtrip.otherside.xyz, and obviously get the link. I will put the link to their official Twitter. Only follow links from their Twitter, but and not when I'm verbally saying it, because someone could spell something different. But you go there and you can either log in if you are a guest or hold the NFT, or you can watch, which I think is also really, really cool and something that they've changed for this one compared to the last one.
Dude, like I said, they're making W's. These are good moves that take a little while. And the problem is, dude, like when people decide to pay attention is sometimes hard to predict when you're doing it. And in the same way, when you're like trying to roll with the punches and go and go and go. Like, for example, I have a TikTok right now that's mooning again for no reason. It's a DMT video I posted like literally a year and a half ago. It's just out of nowhere for the last 2 or 3 weeks been pumping again. Every single time I open it, it's just likes. So you really can't predict when these things start to hit and when people start to care about certain things. And so when they have certain announcements, like when Yuga puts out some of these announcements, and you feel the FUD or you feel the glory, even like, good or bad, just like have that extra awareness to be like, okay, this may not be the real push. This may not be like the real wave that we're feeling, but just keep in perspective, like what they're actually doing, like zoom out, and be like, okay, what have they actually done in the last 4 months? Like where were they 4 months ago when we were talking about them, when Kay was literally hating on them, saying they literally suck and there's nothing good about this brand. All they do is yell at people and fucking raise more money. What is good about this brand? And then be like, okay, now like why would Kay bother to even talk about them for more than 5 seconds and say they're actually doing cool stuff? Like, why would he bother? Like there must be a reason. And why would Philip keep bringing them up to piss Kate off? It's like, oh, there must be something real here, you know?
It's not to piss you off. It's definitely not. It's because they are the biggest in the space, and as long as if they winning, we all winning in a way. Anyone who believes in the space. Yeah, man. Another really bullish story for the space, and something that's great. We've got Reddit CEO saying that he's going to be doing an NFT marketplace. So we all know that Reddit had massive success with their avatars, which is actually NFTs, right? And the funny thing is, before they launched it, the Reddit community in general was very anti NFTs. But when their avatars came out, which are NFTs because they're on the blockchain, it took the entire market by storm. And we now have a lot of Reddit community members who are pro NFTs. Well, now Steve Huffman, the CEO, came out at Paris Blockchain Week, and he said that there's going to be, first of all, a third phase for Reddit avatars, and they're going to build a public marketplace where people will be able to trade the avatars, right? So yeah, man, I mean that's really big news. Going to be interesting to see how it pans out and how it's received by the Reddit community at large. But yeah, these guys are going for it. They not stopping.
Yeah, dude. I mean, see how long some of these things take. I mean, it feels like yesterday, but it also feels like forever ago when this whole thing mooned and people were talking about Reddit NFTs. But look, I mean, they made a decision. We all fucking either yelled or cheered for them, whatever. And 8 months later, we say, "Oh damn, they out here. They're really still out here." Like it's more of like a respect thing that they even bothered to stay. I mean, there's a lot of people, Philip. Like if you were in the U.S., for example, you would feel this even more to your bones than you probably do right now, because people would tell you to your face versus maybe they tell it to you in the DMs. But like, there's like a certain level of respect that we're finally starting to come on that mountain over. And I try and echo the same when I talk to my friends in the space, regardless of follower count, if I have less than them or more than them, where I'm like, bro, we've been here for literally 2 years. And like, if you started content like back in 2021 or 2022, it's been a minute since we started, and like you really fuck with this place, and it's cool. It's just internet culture, really. You're just kind of just on your grinds, kind of thing. But as far as people being here for the culture, bro, Reddit's been here for fucking 2 decades or whatever. They're here. Like whether or not you like them or you think this or that, bro, they're here. So like,
they definitely are. They definitely are. They're on the in the internet. I mean, I've been using my Bing browser now a hang of a lot. I remember last week I said to you, if you use Edge and you sign up on Bing, you've got your chat GDP. I've been using it so much, bro. I'm loving it. Did you ever get it? Did you ever download it and get connected there?
No, well, I mean, literally the last time we spoke, I pretty much flew out to LA that like within 48 hours of that, and I had a FIFA tournament that was really eating up a lot of my time. And honestly, like I forgot, I haven't even sent the money that I lost there. I didn't do as well as I thought. I almost did really well. And I got distracted. When I was out there playing FIFA with other things. But I have not gotten to actually mess with ChatGPT 4. Just been really consuming what people are talking about it though, and people are excited. But then at the same time, bro, not gonna lie, people moved on a lot faster than I thought, like a lot faster. Within 2 days, I haven't heard a single thing about ChatGPT 4 unless I brought it up, unless I was the one who like brought it into conversation. Like, yo, what do you think about this? And they weren't even thinking about it, bro. Like the second I brought it up, 50% of the people within 2 minutes moved on to the next topic that was a little bit more sexy. And I was like, damn, dude, who cares? We're still out here. We're still talking about it. I mean, there's a reason you brought it up. It's a big thing. And for people who watch,
it's a very big thing.
It's huge.
It's a very big thing. I mean, I can just show you. This wasn't on the schedule, but I can just show you, bro, because this is changing everything. I mean, whether it's going to be spoken about or not is irrelevant. This is massive, and this is the future. So you come into Bing on Microsoft Edge, and you've got this way of how they're doing a search bar, right? Ask me anything. So, Kate, what do you want to know, my brother? Like, what do you want to ask?
Should I move to LA?
Okay, so we got to say, what are the benefits of living in LA
versus Seattle?
Okay. Versus Seattle. Did I spell that right? Seattle.
This is a live Q&A right here. I would love to know the answer here. I mean, this is a real question in my head right now.
Okay, so let's do that. All right, so you got your over here something that's generated live, and I'll take it there. Okay, this is actually an article. It's not generated live. In summary form, you've got who would like living in Seattle? Coffee-loving people. Who would like living in LA? Summer Sally. So the weather's good there. All right. So and it goes into it. So size comparison. Those that love a crowd will feel right at home in LA. But if you prefer a calmer town environment, then you'll enjoy Seattle. So this is what the web looks like at the moment. Someone happens to have written an article on this already, and so it lays it out for you. But if you then go to chat here instead of search, so at the top here, we're on search. If we go to chat over here, okay, like this, now we're in AI. This is ChatGPT. This is what they paid all those billions for. Now, from the get-go, you can choose for something. You can give it how much. Do you want something only accurate, like that it's got no leeway? Do you want something a bit balanced, or do you want something creative? And you can
give me the
set that
fucking
setting.
answer. That's so cool.
All right, so they're saying, so here he's answered this live for you, right? Seattle and LA are both great cities to live in, but they have their differences. Seattle is known for its natural beauty with impressive mountains and green areas, while LA is a much larger city with a warmer, drier climate. Both cities prioritize music and art, but LA has a greater film and television influence, which is what you were saying. Seattle is a calmer town environment, while LA is great for those who love crowds. The cost of living in LA is 5% more expensive than in Seattle, with housing costs being 3.7 more percent more expensive, and then it gives you that foot link. Then we can say here, you can speak to it now. You can tell me more.
Dude, so this is crazy because the differences in price literally aren't any different. I was talking to Andres yesterday. I was like, bro, I can literally move there. I just need to get out of this contract. I think like if I can just say, yo, I know I just signed this last month, but an opportunity popped up. Can I just leave? If they say yes, and if I can figure out a way around it, I might just leave, bro. Like, I mean, they're a paper system, bro. Like if he just gives me the contract, I might just rip it out in front of him and then run away the next day or something. But this is so cool.
Look, I mean, in the end of the day, if you really want it, then you must do it. But I do think you need to, anytime out there to make sort of big decisions, I take out a piece of paper and a pen, and I make a column that says pros, and I make a column that says cons, and do that. I mean, so that you're not just making it so pros and cons. While you're doing that, I'll read you what else they've said. So we said, tell us more. So it says, sure. Seattle is known for its outdoorsy culture and its coffee capital of the USA. It's a great place for people who love to go out with friends and coffee or enjoy hiking trails in the nearby mountains, like Mount Rainier. Los Angeles, on the other hand, is a glamorous city with year-round lovely weather. People flock to LA to enjoy the proximity to the rich and famous and to explore nature in places like the Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead, Malibu, and Palm Springs. LA is about glamour, while people from Seattle pride themselves in their embrace of nature.
Ooh, really, really interesting takes there. Guys, if you're on Spaces, go to YouTube right now. I'm going to delete every other pinned tweet that I put up here for just briefly. I know I just put it up for like 2 seconds, but the main tweet, you guys know, the pinned tweet, there's the YouTube stream. Go to the YouTube stream right now because I'm going to have the pros and cons list pulled up, or literally doing this live. I just erased my schedule for the day. You know how much that hurt just to do this live for you. So we're going to do pros.
We must buy you a new board. Am I still on that Twitter thing, by the way? Because when I'm okay.
Right up there, bro.
All right. So, Kate, what else do we want to ask ChatGPT? What else do you want to know? I mean, is there any specific questions like which one is, I don't know, cheaper for buying food? How much does
is Chipotle's price the same across states? Like, doesn't matter. Like, I feel like it's the same price everywhere, but I don't know.
The same in LA versus Seattle. Okay, we're asking. And we're waiting for it to respond. But isn't this cool? It's more like a chat than it is a search engine.
Okay, how about how much does a Chipotle burrito cost in West Hollywood? Just be super specific. Like, it'll probably be able to pull that up.
Chipotle. What? Chipotle?
How much does a Chipotle burrito cost?
Burrito cost in
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood. You know, I have never been to Seattle, but I have been to LA, and also I liked it very much. My favorite was New York. I absolutely love the vibe of New York, that bustling and movement and just things
Yeah.
always happening. I loved New York so much, but I enjoyed LA as well. I've been to Vegas, bro. I spent a week in Vegas. I love the States. I really, really enjoyed it. That was before I got married.
Fucker stayed
And
in
then
Vegas. That's right.
After I got married, I took Bianca to Florida, and we went to Disney World and Universal Studios and all of that. So yeah, man, I love the States. I really, really do.
So funny. Buy the Dip and Hodl on TikTok. Have I tried the Chipotle meal prep hack? If you're talking about the whole like buy the bowl with tortilla on the side, get chips and like that stuff, maybe. But if you're talking about meal prep, do you mean like buy all the meat or something? Right now, we're trying to do a pros and cons list of me moving. This is backwards, honestly. I just realized on the stream, but like pros and cons list of moving to LA versus staying in Seattle right now. I love the city. You guys know I live here in the middle of the city. If I moved to LA, it would be very different. Like honestly, all the things I love about Seattle would kind of change in this. I'm open to that. Like I've never been married to a place just because I fall in love with it. I'm down to move on, but like. If I moved to LA, I wouldn't be in the city, I don't think. I would just have to accept the fact that I'm going to have to Uber everywhere. It's going to be fucking expensive, to be honest. Or just rely on people. But it was honestly the reason I want to move to LA is because the fact that like I had one conversation with this one girl who wasn't like famous or anything, just a normal person. She literally just came up to me on the street as I was about to get into the car. It was so funny because Andres started making fart noises with his Tesla because he was right there making fun of me. And I was trying to like talk to this girl, and I just kept hearing like this fart noise. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Andres making fun of me." So I was out there talking to her, and she was just asking me questions about the mic, asking me questions about my setup, and I was like, "Listen, this video camera and this mic is all I bring with me when I travel, and it's honestly all you need to start making content." She just wanted to do like street style content, like what that you guys have seen Andres do, or Zoro, or anyone else who does K-Money. Even like you literally just need one mic and one camera and just go. You don't even need a camera, just get an iPhone. So she's asking me questions about that, and I was like, bro, she's out here on her grind. She's got 200 followers. Who cares? Like, she's literally out here because she wants to make content. That's so cool. That's why I want to move to LA, because there's people on all ends of that spectrum. I met people who have literally 200,000 followers in a room with me that I should not even be talking to. And I was like, bro, they're here because they like making videos and they like doing content and like spreading that message and whatever, living out of their expression. And it makes no difference. There's no difference between the one with 200K and 200.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it follows. Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah. So I just want to give you an answer. Restaurant prices in LA are 7.6% lower than in Seattle. For example, a Mac meal at McDonald's or equivalent combo meal costs $12 in Seattle and $10 in LA. Please note the prices may vary depending. So depending on the location and promotions prices, but in general, it seems like food is a bit cheaper in LA. So the question we're going to ask for now is accommodation, right? Is that going to be cheaper in LA
No, they
or
are the
Seattle?
same. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. I got the answer for that one. I don't need answers on that one. I know that there are a 5-minute look on Facebook Marketplace. Hey, Sam, a 5-minute look on Facebook Marketplace just told me, I was like, okay, are there studios that I can buy in this range, anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 a month? I really don't want to go more than 2K. Honestly, 2K would be a very big stretch. I'd be like, okay, there better be a damn good reason I'm moving here for $2,000 a month just to live. Like I can live in a box for all I care. I don't care as long as I can stream. But there are places, bro, and they're all over, dude, all over. I talked to Andres. I was like, can I find a good place for 1,500? He was like, yes. And I was like, okay, that's all I need. I don't need more answers. I don't need more details. Let's move. It's really just a question.
Let's do your pros and cons list, yeah.
Bro, here's the pros. You ready? I'm going to show you. I already made it. You ready? The only question I have is like, is this gonna be backwards on the stream when I show it to you? I hope it's not. Let me just double check. I think it'll be okay.
Let's make you big. Hold on. Let's see. Ooh, no, hold on.
Doesn't matter. It's perfect.
Okay, there's just a bit of reflection. It's not backwards. Pros are everything. Cons, who cares? All right. Well, it seems like your mind's made. It seems like your mind's made up.
doesn't make any difference. Like I literally just moved back. Like the only
love
the
Seattle.
only thing here, contract. I love Seattle so much. I love it so much. But like Seattle's like 2 hours away. You know, like literally it's 2 hours away from a plane. It was $100 to fly. When I realized how cheap it is to fly, I was like, whoa. Also same with LA, by the way. I can stay here and just fly back to LA. I have friends over there now. Like I've met a ton of people, even more now that I went to LA this past week, but I knew a ton of people in LA. I was like, I can hit up any of them to just like pick me up from the airport and like let me crash for a couple of days. I just talked to my friend Noah and he gave me some like groundbreaking news about his family life. And that was so cool. And he was, yeah, they live.
Do you have so from the sounds of it, there's a lot more friends in LA than in Seattle.
There are now. Actually, I know a lot of people here in Seattle too. I just think that where I'm going, I maybe thought 48 hours ago that this was the place to stay, and 48 hours later, I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe I'll just roll with this.
Can I give you a little bit of advice? Can you maybe just sit there, think about it properly for a couple of days before you make any,
Agreed.
you like go now and speak to your landlord immediately and cancel your lease there. I mean, it makes absolutely no difference to me. Obviously, I mean, I'm always just out for you. Just give it a bit of thought. Don't make a rash decision at this point. Because I don't know the benefits.
I told Andres, he was like, because Andres is a fucking salesman. Like I can feel it when he wants me to do something. He's like one of my best friends now, and he like we really had a great time. Honestly, the last like hour of my trip was super awesome with him, and I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. And he was like, damn, like that was pretty cool, and I was like, shit. And we both were like, fuck, like maybe I should like actually think about moving here. So when I got back and I texted him, I was like, oh, I made it back. And I texted him something about this mic stand. He gave me this mic stand and I was like, asking me a question about it. And he was like, bro, like when LA? And I was like, bro, honestly, I literally just got to get out of the contract, I think. And then I was like, but let me actually, because I've been doing I've done a little bit of, not a lot. I don't even want to say I've done a lot of drugs because I feel like if I say the word drug, people go, oh my God, Kay was taking a lot of LSD in LA. Like, what a typical story. It's like, hold on. You guys know me. Like, you guys know I wouldn't make a dumbass decision like that. I'm not a fucking partier. Like, every time I use a drug, it's always in a spiritual first place, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, it always comes from, especially in the last few months, like meditation first. So everything comes from a place. So, like, can I go deeper into the meditation and, like, actually think about things for a second for clarity versus running away? You know, I'm not, like, running away from anything. So like I did a little bit of drugs, I'll say, like literally nothing. But my dopamine levels are skyrocketed because of that, you know, like drugs paired with a lot of cool experiences that are new means I'm very, very happy and I'm very cool. So you're absolutely right. You need to let those cool down for the weekend, go back into normal life for a second, do a couple streams and be like, okay, now I can think again. Now like everything's back to normal sort of. Now me literally like next week. We'll see what happens.
Not either way. Yeah, exactly. But just give it a couple of days and weigh it up. I mean, just the pros and cons list made me realize that you're not thinking 100% through the decision properly at this point of time. All right. So no. There's someone else who's not thinking through stuff at the moment was Playboy. So Playboy launched an NFT collection, I want to say about 18 months ago. I don't know exactly, but they kept it in ETH, man. They kept it in ETH. So they've effectively lost $5 million. So, yeah, nice to see Playboy getting at the moment opposed to the other way around. Usually they doing the fucking, but now they are... Yeah, they've lost $5 million. A loss of 4.9 million on the Ethereum that it held last year, citing the crypto winter as the cause. Their NFT collection Rabbitars launched in 2021. Oh, wow. So that's almost 2 years ago. At the peak of the NFT craze. I mean, I remember I minted one, hey? Which was quite cool. According to the 10K form filed on Thursday, the value of its digital asset was $327,000 as of last year. But it would have been worth 1.75 million in digital assets. Since Rabbitars was released 2 years ago, the price of Ether has plummeted over 60%. So, I mean, look, you would expect them to have changed it from ETH into US dollars. I mean, they're a very big Web2 brand. Market price of one Ether, we all know what happened over there. but they're justifying it and they're saying, swings in the market could have made a big impact on the value of their company, but they've been crypto curious for years. And they have a long history with NFTs, Bitcoin, and the blockchain since 2018. They have been planning to integrate their own token onto its platform called VRT. So they're just justifying that, look, they've had aspirations for Web3 for a very, very long time. But yeah, I mean, they lost effectively $5 million by not converting their ether into dollars at when it was flying high.
Damn, bro, and it's so funny. Like, now that we've had this extra information, we laugh at anyone who like didn't think to do that. But honestly, guys, the very first time it even came to my mind to even think about doing that was when I interviewed Volterra. And he was like, yeah, bro, we pulled all our money out the second we got the money. And I was like, whoa, what a smart play. No one's even talking about it. Like, we didn't think to do that. Like, everyone just said that. Like, I was like, bro, the only people who thought about that were like serious businessmen. Like, for you, probably, I mean, you 100% did. But like, unless you're a deep businessman or woman, bro, that wouldn't even come across your fucking mind. You're like out here doing degen stuff, But like, people who are about it, they made those decisions. And man, I guess Playboy's just thinking with their little peepees instead of their brains,
Yeah. Look, I think anyone who's been in crypto for a while would have thought the same, because they would have seen other bull and bear markets. So if you just came in at the beginning of the bull market and you saw the crypto just going up, you think, okay, it's always going to just be going up. But if you had seen the crypto winter before, where it went down 90% and stayed there for a year or two, like it did before that, and then went up, then that would have been the logical thing, especially when it was flying so high. I mean, in hindsight, it's definitely obvious that at $5,000 ETH was not sustainable at the time. But yeah, I mean, look, I would expect a company like them. They say that they've been involved in crypto since 2018. I would expect them to have changed it over to USDC. I was actually quite shocked to see that.
Yeah. Honestly, actually, you know what? Just hearing what you just said actually kind of changes what I was thinking. Just slightly. Like, I guess because I'm learning everything on the fly, like a lot of, especially the business stuff, and I feel like probably a lot of people who are watching my stuff, even because of my demographic, the fact that they are either older than me or just above older than me, actually all across, basically everyone's older than me is like kind of my demographic. Everyone's about 24 to 60 is about my main demographic. I have a bigger people between 60 and 80 than I do 13 to 17, which is crazy to me. It's actually weird. I don't even understand it. Like, why I don't have more people 13 to 17 following me. But anyways, I think people are learning some of these things as we go with me. Like, I didn't fucking think about that. And then now that I think about it, I'm like, wait, hold on. I am thinking about it though. Like, I'm literally 24 and now I'm learning about these business things. Like, now at 25 years old in a year, I will not make that mistake, versus like you think about Playboy or these companies that didn't do it. And you're like, wait, hold on, you're 35. Why didn't you think about that? Did you not learn that when you're 24? Like, that's so strange to me. Like, I just think about when I'm 10 years in the future now, what I'll be learning as I go, because I'll still be learning as I go. But like, man, just the fucking amount of knowledge you can pick up in 10 years. I mean, think about 10 minutes in a stream. Like, I learn literally so much every stream with you. It literally makes no difference if we have 10,000 people or 10. It makes literally no difference. We're just out here and we're doing what we love,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, I've always said I enjoy catching up with you every week, and just it's a constant. It's nice. It's like if we were picking up the phone and just chatting, and we're both interested in NFTs, and we sort of go there. But on top of that, I do think it's important in bull, bear markets, whatever. It's nice to have a place where, even if it's a handful of people, and get up to date on the weekly news. They don't have to sit there researching. They can see what's happened and catch up and sort of be on top of all the latest stories. I think it's a great thing, and I enjoy doing it. And I mean, I think it's testament to the fact that I've been doing it for almost a year and a half now, that I'm happy to carry on. And it's all, it doesn't matter to me how many viewers or whatever we get. So the other thing, you brought it up at the beginning, Kate. So we've got a lawsuit against different YouTubers that promoted FTX. So there is a class action lawsuit. Class action just means a lot of people coming together to allege damages against the same people. And they've named several YouTubers, finance YouTubers, including Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, who we know, Jaspreet Singh and BitBoy Crypto and others, that they should be held responsible. These influencers should be held responsible for promoting FTX. So the lawyer's plaintiff, a guy by the name of Edwin Garrison, is a private investor who filed a lawsuit against former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, plus other celebrities like Tom Brady, Stephen Curry, Shaquille O'Neal, and everyone who FTX was using and paying to be the face of FTX. Yeah, man, they saying that creators must clearly disclose when they are being paid to promote the products, which a lot of them did, but some of them maybe didn't. I don't know. Allegedly, apparently not. But they also, cited, for example, that, Kim Kardashian ended up settling for promoting a token, although that was different. That did happen. But yeah, man, this is interesting for us because obviously, I mean, you're a YouTuber. Let's just say that FTX had approached you when they were flying high. Well, let's do it this way. FTX would have approached me. I wouldn't have thought there was anything wrong. I would have been really excited. It's a huge, at the time, it was a massive exchange. Everyone thought it was, he was the messiah in the industry. And yeah, I would have taken it. I would have let everyone know that we were sponsored by them and it was a paid promotion for sure, which I think most of these YouTubers did. But I wouldn't have known that it was going to go to hell. So I don't know. What do you think of this, Kat?
It's literally all intention based. Like, I mean, I would have done the same shit. Like, if they had said, "Hey, we just want you to talk about our exchange, be able to trade," I'm like, bro, there's literally no harm in that. Like, what are you talking about? And it's hard for me because I can only think about how I do things and how I imagine other people who follow me, who like follow. When I say follow me, I hate using that word, but like follow my journey, like just what. Anyways, how they kind of operate. Like, I never kept more than a couple $1,000s on an exchange ever. Like, that's terrible thinking. Why would you ever do that? On Coinbase, like, bro, you don't keep your savings account on there. Like, that's a horrible idea. I don't care where it's at. Like, even now, especially after these banks close, like, I'm really scared to keep anything in one spot anymore. Like, I was always diversified, sort of, but you guys know me. I run with, I'm too young to like have a fucking huge savings account, honestly. Like, I don't have, like, I never had an e-commerce store. I never had $1 million sitting in a bank account. Like, I'm playing around with the money that I got to go do things, and I'm building with the money that I have. It's a deck of cards almost that's like basically dependent on me to keep going. And if I stop and just keel over and then down the side on the sidewalk for too long, it'll just crumble, right? And so I keep going, but it's also because I love it. But when I think about these exchanges and I'm like, is this something that the YouTubers should be held accountable for? I'm like, hold on. No, I mean, yes, but no. Like, they were very clear, especially the ones who are being brought to the limelight. Graham Stephan, Andrew Jake. We know these people, guys. Like, they are on podcasts every single week with us. We know what they're about, what they're not about. We are very well aware. The people who are throwing these court cases do not keep up. Like, I've consumed Graham Stephan and Andre and all these guys enough to know what they really care about and who they are. Right. And it's tough because they think of the same things with TikTok. Like, the guys just don't understand TikTok. That's the problem here. They don't understand what they're even disputing here. The same with these allegations, bro. Like, if you go and promote an NFT project because this is going to bring you more money, that's very different than saying, yo, trade in this exchange because there's only 5 other exchanges that you're going to trade on anyway. Here's one that's a little bit more, seems like, at least for all of us, like, we're all pretty much trading on FTX and Binance and Coinbase. It's a very different conversation than saying, Jake Paul, where it's like he literally didn't tell people that he was promoting this and getting paid for it. Even if he was promoting it and getting paid for it, as long as he just sticks a little ad in there, bro, you got to be a special kind of stupid. You really do. Like, you seriously do. Like, that's an accountability line that you have to draw there. You got to be a special kind of dumb and not dumb. Actually, that's a terrible way to put it. You got to be a special type of degen to do that and then lose your money and then literally point at Jake Paul and say, you're the reason I lost it. Well, I know, fam. There's 3 people pointing at you and it's literally your own fingers. It is you, bro. Like, if you look at Jake Paul's promotion, you've got to know the game you're playing. Like that is on you. You know, it's Jake Paul
Look,
should probably play it.
there's a level of responsibility when you have such a huge following, such as a Jake Paul, that
Yes.
you do need to make it very, very clear when something is a paid promotion. I do believe that
Agree.
because maybe, you know, if you deep in the space, you know that this is all shills and whatever. But for the average 15-year-old guy who thinks that, you know, Logan and Jake are the, you know, God's gift to the world, and then he comes out and suggests that they do X, Y, or Z, there is that responsibility that they must say, look, you know, I suggest X, Y, and Z, but this is a paid promotion. I do think so. And I think the bigger you're following, the more responsibility you have there. But I do agree with you that, you know, from my understanding, the guys that they're talking about here all would have very much disclosed it. Well, we did see here that Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, completely lost his cool and started threatening the lawyers that are representing the class action. So now these class action lawyers are claiming, allegedly, that Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto, threatened them. So they've filed court filings, right? And they're saying that they're being harassed by Ben Armstrong after he was named as a defendant in this case,
That's funny.
right? And the court
Wait, that's
filings are
actually crazy.
so the court filings were done on the 20th of March, and this was by the lawyer in the Florida court, and he claimed that Armstrong began harassing him. And I'm reading this, right? And I'll put the source as Cointelegraph. I will put that on the video as well. Ben began harassing the lawyers after the suit was filed on the 15th of March. He made endless phone calls, tweets, and emails at this lawyer allegedly, and insulted and threatened him on Twitter, YouTube, and other social media. So yeah, Ben is one of the so-called FTX influencers that's named in the suit that seeks $1 billion for allegedly promoting the FTX crypto fraud without disclosing that they were being paid to promote FTX. The filing claimed that Armstrong was at the time making up to 21 calls within a 45-minute period to this lawyer and leaving voicemails that were full of vulgarities and specifically targeting the lawyer. The filing further alleged that voicemails included warnings to Adam Moshkovitz, one of the lawyers, with one where Armstrong allegedly told Moshkovitz, "We're going to have First Amendment protesters around your house 24/7, day and night." Then if you are watching us on YouTube, you'll see Ben Armstrong's tweet. He's come out and said, "What the fuck?" Lawyers chiming in saying, "I better be careful. Are you kidding me? The only person who better be careful is you, Adam Moskowitz. I already told him privately, you do not get to make lies up. You're going to be held accountable." And a whole lot more. Ben is going absolutely crazy here.
Dude, wow, holy shit. First off, Ben Armstrong is a content creator, is a beast. As far as the other stuff, I honestly don't know enough about his brand to even comment on that entirely as an educator. And also, I was just off screen. I was my friend, he's also a TikToker in the building. He was like, "Bro, I'm at Starbucks right now. Do you want anything?" And I was like, "Yes, actually I do." But anyways, as far as the thoughts on this thing, here's the thing. If you guys watch CoffeeZilla, he's the guy who like brought down Crypto Zoo, right? He did a whole documentary on that thing, right? And then he just posted a video the other day, and he talked about the fact that literally, because he's talking about the FTX thing, he goes, "Bro, Ben Armstrong, months before the collapse, started calling them out after being sponsored." He goes, "Hold on, guys, stop using FTX." Like a whole video, by the way. Like this is a real thing, very much documented. You can check it out on YouTube. You can check it out anywhere. He literally stops. He cut all ties to FTX months, guys, months before this all became a thing. Before FTX started getting the news about them like not having the funds and whatever, months before any of the conversations started, he goes, "Yo, fuck FTX, literally fuck FTX. Don't use them. They're a bunch of scumbags. Do not listen." Like super, I mean, you guys know Ben, super vulgar, super extreme. And I was like, "Damn, bro, like they just sponsored you. Like, what do you like? They must really suck if you're gonna like come out here and say all this stuff. Like, they must really be there must be a reason that you're putting your brands at risk here by saying such vulgar shit about FTX." And guys, he literally said, "These guys suck. Do not use them. Take your money off." And I was like, wow.
So that's I agree with you that happened. I remember it. I don't know legally what that implies, because hypothetically, if you were watching the week before when he was punting it and he didn't disclose it, then, and as a result of that, you invested your money on there, and then you weren't watching the week after when he said, hold on, pull your stuff out. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know what's fair, legally to say, okay, I watched a week ago, but I didn't watch that particular show where he said, pull all your money off, and now I lost $1 million as a result of that show a week before that. So I don't know. It reminds me of that.
I'm like, he's defended of FTX. I'm like, what? Because that's why he was so mad.
Yeah,
because they're like,
he's named as one of the people that they're going after in this class action lawsuit for allegedly promoting FTX without disclosing that they were being paid to promote FTX.
Okay. Got it. And that's tough, dude. Because yes, if they don't disclose it, bro, guys, I mean, listen, you can forgive your influencers a couple times, bro, but like, not really. I mean, if dude, I mean, listen, if Philip literally had a paid promo and just lied about it, that would make me think twice about it, just on a friend level, being like, yo, what the actual fuck why'd you do that? What are you talking? Like, I'd need to really talk to him. Like, why? The
other thing is, allegedly, it's not the first time. There've been quite a few times where BitBoy's channel's been accused of this. It was even about 2 or 3 months ago. BitBoy came out on Twitter and said, "I'll give you $10,000 if you can prove that we've done a paid shill without disclosing it in the last 12 months." So he admitted that they had done before that, but they've learned and they're sorry. And someone found it and showed him the video of his team promoting a token or something that they proved was paid for. And he ended up giving that $10,000 to that person. I don't know if you remember it. It was a story that we covered. And that was in the last 12 months. So, I don't know, bro. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. Everyone must do what they want to. But I mean, in the end of the day, I've always said that reputation is the one thing that cannot be traded. And I think that, it's just amazing to see Logan Paul. He's got so much money and so many billions of fans, and no one cares. And then BitBoy Crypto, the same thing. I mean, it doesn't make me question whether I should maintain my morals. I'm very, I'm looking in the mirror every day. That's all that matters to me. I'm not looking left or right at other people. But it's just, it just goes to show that maybe reputation doesn't mean that much. Doesn't mean that I'm going to throw mine under the bus. I'm just saying, because the biggest guys in the space, in any space, on social media. I mean, Logan Paul is one of the biggest influencers on YouTube. I mean, he's being sued for defrauding people with CryptoZoo here. So it's just incredible to see,
Dude, that one's tough, dude, because like I feel like I'm in the grind in real time and like watching things happen in front of me, and I'm like, it's so easy to just like there's a scene in Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. You guys have watched it. Give me a thumbs up in the spaces, likes and retweets. And then if you're on YouTube, smash the likes, subscribe to Phil's channel. If you're on TikTok, hit the follow. Appreciate y'all. But there's a scene in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest at the end. They're fighting over the heart that's inside the chest, right? Spoiler alert. They're fighting for the chest, and they're on a wheel. They're on a spinning wheel, a huge wheel, by the way, the size of a house. They're on top of the wheel, walking on the wheel as the wheel spins, right? And the wheel is just fucking breaking everything in its wake. It's just crashing over fucking trees, all this crazy stuff, right? And I realized, and because there's people fighting on top, and there's people inside the wheel, like literally running like a hamster. And they're inside, there are people on top, there are people running on the outside of the wheel, trying to catch up to the wheel. And I'm sitting here going like, damn, you know how easy it is to just jump on the wheel and not realize you're on the wheel versus you being outside the wheel? Like they're both equally as easy, and they're like fluid almost. You can do them at the same time. It's weird. It's like really, really weird. It's like almost trippy. And you realize like, wow, there's no difference between me and like, for example, so like I would try, I'll make the statement now. I'm like, why the fuck would I do an undisclosed promo? That makes no sense. Like, it's dumb as shit. Like, people are hyped when I do a promo, like, because it's like, he's getting paid. It's not there's no weird nefarious things going on. Same with Philip. Like, if Philip gets some kind of promoted thing where he's getting paid to make some content, bro, like, we should all be cheering for him. I'm cheering for him every time I see my friends do that, as long as it's disclosed and it's not weird. Then like that's kind of the people that you follow or you hope to. But like the point I'm trying to make is like that line is very easy to step on, and you can literally just step on that and not know it. Like, I've almost done that where I'm like, oh, I'll just do this, no problem. I just roll with it, like I just almost do that. I'm like, whoa, that line is right there. It's not so far away for content creators, by the way, with 1,000 followers, 400 followers, or 20,000. It's very right there in front of you in this game of media. there's no such thing as these lines that we draw in our realities. It's literally right there. Someone can just send you a DM and your life can change. It's that easy. And you can make a bad decision that can ripple for your brand for the next 35 years if you plan on being here that long. And it's right there, fam. Those undisclosed promos, if you do those, man, you're not even going to realize until you're 35 promos in and you're going, damn, I'm the person that I was trying not to be.
Who's that massive YouTuber who was kicked off the platform and now has his own platform? He had Kanye West on there, massive guy, but just sued for a fortune of money. He's now got his own website where he does all of these interviews. He did that crazy interview with Kanye West where Kanye West came out about 6 months ago, dressed up all funny, and they had a weird 3-hour...
It's either Steven Crowder. I don't know if Steven Crowder actually kicked off, but there's just, I'm going to throw out some podcasters. There's either Steven Crowder. There's who's the crazy guy, guys? Who's the crazy guy with
He's the crazy guy. He's the crazy guy. That's who we're talking about.
Not to throw you under the bus. He looks like you if you did a bunch of drugs.
Do you know what he got sued for? Because I think it was also undisclosed promotion or something like that. And he finally got removed from YouTube, and he's got his own website that he does these like crazy interviews, and he's very controversial.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
God, who was it?
But
it was so funny because Kanye West comes on and he's out there going, "Damn, bro, like you kind of crazy."
Yes,
like, I thought I was crazy.
Yes.
If you know it, please put it in the comments. If you're on YouTube,
truth. Oh, fuck is this? Yeah, it's just.
I gotta find out. We got to know.
All right, so while we're finding out, I'm going to give you this feel-good story. So we've got Pez dispensers. Anyone who's a Web2 collector like I am will know Pez dispensers. I got a couple of them. I never got into it properly. The things I've gone into properly is Hot Wheels. I got surrounded by them, Garbage Pail Kids, marbles, Coca-Cola collectibles, stuff like that. But I've got a couple of Pez's. So the nice thing here is that Pez has launched the first ever Bitcoin-themed Pez dispenser. You can see it over here. It's a limited edition of only 30,000, which for Pez is quite small. It's not a big run. So the scarcity means that they mirror the scarcity of Bitcoin and create the first. Yes, that's him. The first Bitcoin themed candy collectible. The world's first Bitcoin themed Pez dispenser has launched for a limited edition run. So Kate, just look up what he got sued for successfully, please. And now Pro Snacktive Sales, a newly formed family-owned business, launched the product exclusively at Walmart. Companies producing a hard limit. I mean, Kate, if you can pick up a couple of these, man, I think they could have value down the line. I'm being dead serious. I mean, if you do see, buy me like 5, I'll pay you for them. And when you send me my shoes or whatever, we'll send them all together. But serious, there's only 30,000 of them. Pez are collectible. Bitcoin's collectible. It's not a huge amount of money to buy them. And if you do see one in a Walmart, will you get one for me?
I will. So I found out also a couple things that he got like arrested for. So apparently he a Texas jury on Friday. This is, by the way, this is August 5th, 20. This is a while. It's like 9 months ago. But he paid apparently $49 million in total damages to the parents of a first grader killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary massacre, which you guys remember. It was huge, and he basically was like, "This isn't real. This is blah blah blah." And Jesus Christ, 50 million is a fucking lot.
It was before that. No, but it was. How much money was that?
$50 million. That was one of the biggest things that got him canceled because he was so adamant about that.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
There's a thing to be said about, you know, sticking through what you believe in when like people aren't saying, but that's like, bro, dude, like someone's family, like parents, like kids, dude, like that's super fucked. That's super fucked. And like, even if you're doing it for clicks, like, dude, oh my God, he just trampled over people.
Yeah, Gen X exclusively at Walmart, my man. Kate, you got to give me a couple of these. Where's the nearest Walmart? Is there a Walmart in Seattle?
Hold on. I was looking at the thing. I missed this whole bit about the Pez. But yes, there is actually my friend Janessa literally just went to Walmart. So Janessa, if you're watching this, when we go to Walmart next week, we're going to pick one of these up.
And then more than one. I want like 5 at least.
All right, Janessa, we're going to pick up 5. I'm 10 actually. I want 5 too. Who else wants some?
Please.
I see some people in the spaces. I see people on YouTube. Who wants some? Metazet, Jack, Janex, you want some?
I mean, these
So
look so cool. Kate, I'm being serious, bro. You must get me. Will you write down
I
somewhere?
will.
Write down somewhere to
No, I
get me
literally will
some.
go. I wanted to go to Walmart
Please,
anyway. I don't
bro.
go to Walmart, but it's outside the city, and she went, so I was like, okay, I'll go.
All right, cool. Write down. Philip wants at least
Got
5
you.
pest dispensers. I'll pay you back. Okay.
Hell yeah.
You see, Janix also wants them, bro. I think like we all DJs at heart.
I'm gonna look for
You
them,
know, I mean,
guys. I'm
I've
gonna
got
look for
all
them.
these collectibles behind me. I love collectibles, man. So this is cool.
Dude,
I
I don't
really,
go
really
to
like
Walmart.
that. Just
I, I will look for it.
yeah,
I will
well
look for it.
now you're going to. You can just like wear your boob tube top with your tummy out and go to Walmart. Okay.
Oh god.
Let's go. What do we got here? Field
Hey.
trip.
Gotcha.
Yay! We all go to Walmart. And you get a pest dispenser, and you get a pest dispenser. Look under your seat.
I'm
You
gonna
get a
stream the
pest
whole thing.
dispenser. Everyone's
Stream it all.
getting a pest dispenser. All right. Now this week, just to get back on topic here, and Kate, we're at the point now where we're almost ready, guys. In spaces, if anyone wants to chime in on anything that we've spoken about, or just talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
anything that's going on for you, we've got literally about 2 more stories left, and then we'll open up spaces, and Kate will allow you to be a speaker, and then when we come to Q&A time, yeah, if you've got any questions, any comments, anything you want. But we've definitely got the SEC has been on a warpath the last couple of days. And we've seen that they've served Coinbase with a notice of. I just want to find the exact wording, guys, the correct wording for it. I know I've got it over here. A Wells notice. Okay. So, this is really quite interesting because a Wells notice is almost like, we think you're guilty straight up. It's quite blunt that they think that they're guilty, right? But the interesting thing here is that the Coinbase has been, consulting with the SEC for years. And before they launched their token, they got permission from the SEC to launch their token and things like that. So it's really strange that the SEC would come and instead of approaching Coinbase, who they have a relationship with, and they would just come in and give them the notice of intention of the Wells notice, right? So this is very, very strange. We've got Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, coming out saying that, similar to what I'm saying. I'll read the whole conversation to you, but imagine you got both football and soccer refs on the field, but we're actually playing pickleball. The refs can't really agree on the rules of the game, and one of them decides to change a call they made in April. Because
Wait, can
again,
we sit
the
on that?
SEC,
Holy shit,
sorry.
dude. Can we just like sit on that for people who are watching? Like, we don't know. This is why the metaverse is real, bro. Like, this is happening in real
They
time. Like,
aren't
bro, watching
real.
the stream,
Yeah,
this is happening right now. Nobody knows what's going on. There's literally chaos in the streets. This is crazy.
yeah, because what they're saying is in 2021, the SEC approved Coinbase's application to go public. They approved it, knowing exactly what they were doing, that they were a crypto exchange. So to come back now and have this notice out is just crazy. And he's saying the
Yeah,
truth is that today there's no clear rule book from the SEC on crypto, and
none,
efforts
none.
to engage with the SEC are met with silence and just enforcement actions. They have not followed a good faith rulemaking process with the industry as required under the APA 1015. Um, yeah, I mean, going forward, the legal process will provide an open public forum, being an unbiased body where they'll be able to make clear for everyone what the rules are. But this is really strange because Coinbase has really followed the rules here and they've consulted with the SEC throughout. I mean, Brian goes on to say 2 years ago, the SEC reviewed our business in detail and approved us going public. Our S1 clearly explained that our asset listing process included 57 references to staking. Coinbase saw this and they ran a rigorous asset review process and rejected 90% of the assets that have applied to be listed on the platform. While we understood this as part of the journey of reforming the financial system, we are right on the law, confident of the fact. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you. I'll pin it in the bottom. The bottom line here is that finally, we've got a huge crypto company, Coinbase, that has to fight back because the SEC's just lost their mind. I mean, it's gone too far. And Brian Armstrong has said the same thing, that they will not just allow this to stand. They will defend this. The Coinbase is massive. They've got a huge war chest. And it's great that now they'll be using the money that everyone's paid in crypto sort of fees when trading to really bring the space forward and say, hold on, SEC, you can't just mess people around like this anymore. They consulted with Coinbase, approved everything Coinbase was doing, and now they're coming and sending this Wells notice out to them.
Bro, if y'all are listening, so first off, on Space, you guys just saw I pinned it up at the top. If you want to hop on here and just have a little bit of discourse conversation, I'm super down. I don't have to be anywhere for another 2 hours, so like we can keep this conversation going. Would love to know if you guys want to hop up as a speaker. Literally throw up your request. I will bring you on, and we will chat back and forth in real time. Because here's the thing: the only difference between you, me, Philip, Brian Armstrong, these banks, apparently, like nothing, bro. There's literally no fucking difference. They just did a couple other things and been rolling on it for a while. These things are happening in real time. You are a part, if you're listening right now or you're talking right now or anything, you're literally a part of this thing, which is why I call it a joy. There's no better way to put it. It's like this encapsulates the whole thing perfectly. We are on this fucking playing field that is self-actualizing in real time as we go. They are literally making up shit. I think that's why it's so hard for me to be like, they're going to ban TikTok. I'm like, bro, no, they're not. Like, even if they did, something else happens. And then like whatever, like maybe it becomes Twitter. I don't fucking know what's going to happen, but like we are self-actualizing the plot of this life thing as we go. And like anyone can make up the rules. Like there are people popping up left and right. Bro, it's like a game. It's like you're watching the shit and happen in real life. It's the weirdest shit ever. Like people pop up left and right that you've never heard of. They just pop up for 3 weeks and then they disappear again. Then someone else pops up for a few weeks. And then you're like, oh, Brian, I'm sorry, I forgot he existed. He's here again. And then it's like, it's the weirdest shit ever. But if you want to be part of it, throw up a request. If you don't, you just want to, tune into the conversations. We'll be here as well. Hit the retweets, likes. We'd love to get the show out to more people. But damn, dude, this is crazy shit. Crazy shit going on.
Yeah, the SEC's been on a warpath. I mean, they also came out today and they said that fraud remains rampant in crypto. And they put a warning out. The only money you should put at risk with any speculative investment is money that you can afford to lose entirely, the SEC said with regards to crypto today. They also said that fraudsters continue to exploit the rising popularity of crypto assets to lure retail investors into scams. So the SEC has been on an absolute warpath with crypto in the last week, more so than usual.
Bro, and here's the thing, not to make it all spiritual, but bro, anything you fucking fight, whether it's good or bad, just bubbles and bubbles and bubbles and bubbles and bubbles until it blows over. No matter what you do, the harder you push against something, if it's willing to fight you, bro, and when they will fight you, something as big as crypto, something as big as like people saying we want more, what comes with that is accountability. Like if you want more and you want this crypto Web3 decentralized whatever, you want this to come up, you also have to realize that yin and yang is your autonomy and your own accountability. That's why I'm so like that line is so strong for me. You really have to be accountable here, which means you need to be, it's like it comes with it. You have to be educated. And I know we're all learning as we go, but like you have to have some confidence in yourself that you have learned some things and that you can make decisions that are as informed as you're going to be at that time. And you just cannot lean on the fact I didn't know this. Well, I wasn't aware of that. Like, bro, go, make decisions, but like stick with your decisions, make, and like be very fucking present when you make that decision. Don't just make a whim. Like, you're going to do that sometimes, but like whenever you can, like draw as much presence into that moment as you can and make a real decision and stick with it. And like, make that, like, let that snowball keep going, like pile. And then you'll be, 5 years later, you'll look at where you're at. But dude, this is the craziest conversation. Like I'm really enjoying this.
Check out my new layout that I just made. Boom.
Wait, hold on. Wait, zoom us out so I can see more.
It's slightly changed. Just slightly changed. You can resize.
Oh, I love this. Dude, keep it like this. This is dope.
Yeah. But you could do lots of different stuff. I'm gonna play with it a bit more, but I think that's pretty cool. It's like you can completely make it whatever you want, which is like
literally, guys, come to YouTube. If you're in Spaces, come to YouTube.
Last story before we open up Spaces, if there is any comments, and on a bullish note, we've got Sony filing patents for NFTs to allow transfers between games and consoles. So again, we're seeing Web3 gaming coming up again and again. And we've got Sony here filing a patent. The move is, really showing that Sony too who's quite a big gaming giant, believes in interoperability, which is basically being able to use an asset from one game in another game. And so much so that they have now filed patents for NFTs, but also for VR headsets and different consoles that will allow you to trade this way. It also, the trademark specifically would make NFTs transferable between different games and consoles. It was filed last week, so it's very, very recent. Yeah, man, it remains to see whether they're going to get this approved. At the moment, it's just a patent application. But the more that we see these big names coming out and standing behind this sort of stuff and saying, look, we're going to hang our hat on this and apply for a patent, and we believe there may be something here, the more bullish it is for the space, really. Yeah, so I like to see stuff like this.
Yeah, dude, this is dope. I really fuck with that. And basically echoes what we said earlier, bro. Some people are here. They're going to be players when you guys enter the game, or if you're in the game right now. Pretty much if you're listening to this, you're in the game. Bro, these are the players. Like, they're all the same. They're all on the same exact level as you. Especially Web3, dude. Oh my God. We're literally on the exact same. There's no one higher than you. There's no one lower than you. This is crazy shit, dude. Sony, the fact that like we watched movies and Sony was on the big screen in IMAXs, and you look around, you go, damn, bro, Sony could literally DM me and I could be a nobody, like a literal nobody. Like, you know how many people are nobodies that just get a DM? They're like, oh, I saw your tweet about this thing. You want to come on as an advisor? 6 months later, you're like, that just turned into something else, You knew someone just on the off chance, like last week you connected with them and they're like, yo, do you know them? You're like, yeah, I know them. I just talked to them on Discord actually 2 days ago. They're really cool. And then, dude, next thing you know, you're like working with Sony every week. Like, that's the craziest shit can happen, man. I always try and bring that as much as I can to the streams because I want people who watch the stream with me, because I watch other people's streams too. Like, anytime I can, I hop into other people's streams from not doing editing and stuff like that. I want to participate and play and also support as much as I can. This is cool shit, dude. There's people in my Discord right now who get opportunities and start doing stuff on the fly. They're just like, yo, I just fucking got a job. Or like, yo, I just did this thing. Or I've dropped a project. I'm like, whoa, holy fuck. This is the coolest thing ever. I couldn't have even thought this would happen a year ago,
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Are you seeing this Q&A thing?
Yes.
Or, yeah. So I'm busy making another custom thing. Yeah, so hold on. So we'll do that.
Damn. So yeah, guys, if you want to be up here.
It's going to be slightly different to what it is at the moment. Slightly. I'm going to make us a bit bigger, and the sharing screen a bit smaller.
Yeah. We can throw up hypotheticals here. I feel like live Q&A.
Check it out. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Looks great. Fire. Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as like Q&A stuff, that's sometimes hard just because people blank. Like, I know for a fact when. So, like, even if it's someone I'm interested in talking to, they go live Q&A. I'm like, oh, what I was going to ask? So we'll just throw up hypothetical at them. What are your thoughts on the stories? Like the top three, basically the top three stories we had. Like, we had probably the most in the news everyone's talking about is the Do Kwon situation. Like, what are y'all's thoughts on that? What are y'all's thoughts on the fact that the banks are falling apart right in front of us? Coinbase is the biggest one in the last week that they're getting this Wells, notice. Like, Coinbase is probably the biggest name ever. I know people say Binance, but I'm like, no, dude, it's Coinbase. As far as like a market share in people's brains, people think of Coinbase when they think of crypto. It's just it's too easy. People in crypto think of Binance maybe, but people not in crypto, they think of Coinbase. That's the one they go to. So would love to hear your thoughts on Coinbase. Would love to know in Do Kwon. And then any of the topics we talked about specifically, we'd love to know your opinion on that. If not, that's totally cool. We can riff the last few minutes and talk about NFTs.
You can type it also. You don't have to actually come on stage if you don't want to talk. In the spaces, if you want to type it, or even in the YouTube comments, if you want to type any questions or anything, feel free. We'll give it a couple of minutes. And yeah, I mean, if nothing comes up, we'll call it there. Other than that, Cade, man, you've had a great week, man. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. Yeah, NFTLA has been some crazy shit, but actually that'd be a cool topic. I mean, we haven't really talked about NFTLA. Like, I just got back. Man, that changed my fucking entire life. I feel like every single time I do anything a little bit scary, it changes my life or something. It's funny because on my whiteboard I wrote, because I was a little bit nervous for some reason about NFTLA because I've never been to a LA thing. You know, like that's a little bit scary. You're like, oh, it's LA, that's Los Angeles. And if you think about it too much, you start to get in your head. You're like, hold on, do I need to be a certain way? Like when I was out there, I was gonna just roll up in my sweatpants and my fucking loafers like I normally do. And I'm just like, look, that's normally completely fine. And it is. He goes, it is fine. People do that all the time. He goes, but we might literally not be able to get into some places because there's like a dress code thing. He's like, so just bring like wear the pants, like wear the fucking nicer shoes, just so we can get in. And like he's like, and first appearances sometimes do matter. He goes, because as soon as they talk to you, they'll realize you're a normal ass guy. Then you can wear loafers or whatever. I kind of changed my perspective there a little bit. Like maybe I should look, 5% more presentable than I do. But also, who the fuck knows? I don't really know. But we were walking around LA, dude. It was the coolest thing. Just talk to people on the street. Like that was the coolest part about LA versus New York. New York, people got AirPods in. They're not trying to talk to you. They're on their mission. They're going. Los Angeles is like once you've found your flow and your thing, then you're going. It's almost like the difference between New York and LA is like New York is the primer to LA. You're like just about to open your heart up again to people and be like, oh, I'm ready to tell people about stuff. I'm ready to connect. For myself, I'm ready to collaborate. Like you're pretty much the only person on a long-term basis I've collaborated with more than once. Bet Fury, we've been on a month-to-month contract. That's really cool. But I'm really hesitant to collaborate with people long-term in any sense, personal or professionally. And to open my heart up again and like talk to people and like just be open to that in general. That's very, very new. That's basically brand new, like last 3 months kind of thing. And Los Angeles is cool because it's the perfect timing. Like I just started opening up. And that's when I start going up to people that I wouldn't normally go up to and just like, yo, can I take a photo for you? I'm a professional photographer. Like I literally can make it. This photo can be way better and I can make it better. It's no problem. Be like 2 seconds and just snap a little iPhone photo. Next thing you know, I Instagram, we, exchange Instagrams. Then you find out they're the founder of XYZ, who knows, and then I find myself in a meeting, literally the president of Razorfish, one of the number 1 marketing firms in the world. And you're like, what? Like I was there's a couple times in that talk, I looked at Andres and I looked at Anna next to me and I was like, Anna, what the fuck are we doing here? Like I got, 3,000 followers on Instagram. You got 200. Andres got 40K. This is the president of Razorfish in front of me, 10 feet away. And this is the founder of Aloe Yoga. These are real companies making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they're literally saying, this is the future. Web3 makes sense. We've got a metaverse play. Like, I was like, what in the fuck? What in the actual fuck am I doing? This is crazy. And then you go out on the street and people go, oh, like, that's so cool. You do content. Like, me too. I'm making videos. I just started like, 6 months ago. I'm doing this, and this. And you're like, like if you're a content creator, this changed my mind. This changed my mind about everything about LA. You think about the lights and the fucking Louis Vuitton shoes and all that. But underneath it, there are some people there who are really about the content, who really actually fuck with making videos. And that was beautiful, man. Like that was really, really cool to connect with, because that's something you don't always see in the city. In the city, a lot of times you put blinders on and you'll just walk. You won't really open your mind because there's homeless people. There's people who are mad at you. There's people who are angry. There's honking cars and stuff like that. It's very, very different. It completely opened up my mind to the possibilities, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good. I remember traveling for me was awesome. It really is like incredible when you go there. I don't know. I mean, I guess everyone's brought up in their own sort of bubble. Whether
Yeah.
that be their religion or where they live or a mixture of all of that. What school you go to, and you exposed to a certain type of or class of person as a result of that. And then, like when I left school and I traveled around the States and the UK for a year, I took a gap year and I traveled, and just seeing other people's realities that have never been questioned, that are completely different to my reality, that have never been questioned, and just thinking, they're coming there and I believe so strongly X, and no one had ever questioned my belief in X. Everyone around me believed X. And then you come there where everyone believes Y, and for the first time, you thinking about why, and you thinking, was X really what I thought it was? Now that it's actually got other people who believe just as strongly in something else, in Y, as I did in X, right? And I love that about traveling. I mean, I remember a funny story, bro. Bianca and I, early on, obviously before kids, somewhere in Thailand, I think. I'm not sure exactly where. I think Bangkok. I'm not 100% sure, but we were early to go to a shopping center. and it wasn't open yet or whatever. So we went to, there was a little shop on the side that sold Coke and whatever, Pepsi or whatever. So we go in and we say hi, and they were sleeping upstairs. So the shop was, it just opened, and like they lived upstairs in the same building, like literally, like there's like you've got in the George Kingdom over there, and they, you know, but on a bigger scale, right?
Yeah.
And so she called her son down, and her son down became okay, Coke or Pepsi, whatever. So he gives us a can, and then we start walking, we pay, and we start walking out. He says, "Do you want a bag?" So we say, "No, thank you." So he says, "No, but if you walk out, I must give you a bag." So I'm like, "No, I don't want a bag. I'm just going to drink the Pepsi." So he says, "No, no, we need to give you a bag if you." I thought, "What is?" So I said, "Okay, give me a bag, whatever. Just give me a bag." So he gives me a plastic bag, a little plastic bag. He takes the Pepsi and he pours the Pepsi into the plastic bag, puts a straw in the plastic bag, and keeps the bottle of the Pepsi. And this was the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Oh
Okay.
my
So
God, bro.
apparently, because of pollution, you're not allowed to, or people throwing cans or whatever, you're not allowed to take a can or a bottle out of the store. So if you were stayed in the store, you can drink it there. That's fine, out of the tin or the can or the bottle. But as we were walking out, you're not allowed to take the tin or the can. So they pour it into a little plastic bag and put a straw in the bag. And I still have a picture of me laughing my ass off. Bianca took a picture of me outside the shop holding this plastic bag with a straw in it. But that's just an
Oh
example of
my
something that was like it's completely abnormal for me. That's completely normal for them. I mean, obviously, yeah, there's bigger stuff than drinking a
dude.
Pepsi out of a bag,
Where was
but
that?
it's just an example. Bangkok, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely
Bro, that is
somewhere
the funniest shit I've
Thailand.
ever heard. That is the funniest
Yeah.
shit I've ever heard. That's such a great fucking analogy, just in general, to that concept we were talking about. How, yeah, you literally have no idea. You think this thing, you think that, like, or for example, I'm not this because, or I don't like this because I'm like that, or like this kind of person that, like, no, this kind of person that, and you're like, oh, hold on, bro. Like every time you have another experience, you change your literal mind about everything, bro. Like that's literally the facts of it all. You can ask yourself that question in the mirror and be like, hold on, was I the same person as I was a week ago? Like, absolutely fucking not, dude. One conversation away from changing everything in your life. 1 week ago, I would have told you I'm staying in Seattle for 4 years minimum. Minimum, will not leave the city. 1 week in LA, and I go, hold on a second. Maybe, well, like, why you gotta talk in extremes like that? Like, hold on 1 second here. Like, maybe you don't know exactly know what you think you know. And yeah, you like one experience, bro. Like, it was so weird. You know, it was also weird in LA. I met 7 different people from Seattle. Literally just flew from Seattle. And I'm not talking about in the airport. I'm not talking about like on the way back from the airport. Like I'm in the middle of Los Angeles on a hike and I'm just talking to someone. They go, oh yeah, I'm from Seattle. Just visiting for like 2 days. So I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And they're like, no, I live in this area. And I'm like, bro, I live 1 street from you. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, we're neighbors. I'm like, I own this company. I'm like, dude, I walked past your company 2 days ago. Like, what are you talking about? It's the craziest shit, dude. You're 1 story away. Like, that's the craziest story I've ever heard, Philip. You literally were like, I don't want this bag. And they're like, no, trust me, you want this bag. This is how we do it. This is the reality. You give us your fucking drink. I'm gonna pour this in a bag. Like, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
man, I'm
God.
telling you, it's like, and like about a few, I don't know, minute or two, and so I thought, why am I arguing? Just take the bag, who cares? And he
Dude,
like
take the
literally
bag. Take
grabs it
the
from me.
bag.
He
So
grabs it from the tin or the bottle from me and pours it in. I was actually busy looking for a photo here. I'm trying to find it. I mean, it's I've got so many, it's going to be hard to
dude, that
find
is
it,
the
but
funniest shit.
it was
That's the quote.
hilarious.
That's the quote, guys. If you're listening to this on YouTube, wherever you are, Spaces, we love you, but you need to tweet out, take the bag, because it's so ironically funny that we all say get the bag, but we are literally talking about a fucking bag right now.
Yeah, I just thought,
That's
screw
so
it,
funny.
I'll
That's
just take
fucking
the
God.
bag. But then he
Bro, that's
took my
Eastern
drink
shit,
out of
dude.
my hand.
Eastern shit right there. Like I'm half Japanese. I'm going to Japan in the next year. I hope my mom's going this year. Maybe I can just like hitch a ride with her, honestly. But like, dude, they do it different in other cultures. Like, bro, if you're in America right now, you do not know, fam. Especially if you never traveled, You do not know, bro. And I'm not telling you from a position of like I know, like I literally don't know either. But when you go travel anywhere outside even your city, even your block, by the way, like one street over, you normally walk on First Street, walk on Second Street. You're one fucking 5 seconds away from changing everything about your life. And dude, people in Eastern cultures, they don't do shit like we do, bro. Not even a little bit. They're like, oh, I got a headache. I'll take ibuprofen. They're like, what? Ibuprofen? Like, no. Fucking, like, smell this thing. Like, this will fix it in 5 seconds. You're like, smell it? Like, yeah, bro, it's lavender or whatever the fuck it is. And like, smell this thing, and you smell it, and your headache goes away instantly. And you're like, oh, wait, what? What the fuck? And you're like, this is how we live. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow. So, like, your comment a second ago, Philip, you're like, just travel. That resonated, If you can, you can make that shit cheap, bro. You can try. You
But I
can
mean, then the traveling is really cool. But if you at the point of your life, and I don't know that you are or not, but where you really want to build something business-wise that's long-term and sustainable, traveling's maybe not the place to do it. Maybe you want to be settled somewhere, whether that be LA or Seattle, it doesn't matter. But you want to be settled in that place, right?
Yes.
And you want to be so that it can't be a party place where every night, everyone wants to take you out and get you whatever. It's got to be somewhere where you can put your head down and work. If that is LA, then great. If it's not, then that should be a reason for you to reconsider moving. But you also do a type of thing that you can quite easily pick up and do anywhere. But you've just got to say, what is the environment that's better? Is it like, for me, thinking of you walking out your door, running with the beautiful sea on your left or whatever you've got there, and the mountains and the fresh air, and you feeling like great doing that, versus every night partying and every day trying to fight a hangover. I don't know. Could you put the boundaries in place in LA where you could put your head down and work for a couple of days without being coerced or wanting to go out and party and whatever? You got to ask yourself these questions.
Yes, 1,000%, dude. And I don't even think about these things as deeply sometimes until someone brings to my attention, like you, which is why I love streaming with you, because you just got a completely different. Well, obviously, we all have different perspectives, but you have like a perspective that just works. Like the way you say it, or maybe it's your vibe, or like whatever. Like our connection just helps tremendously for me. And one thing I thought about when I was up there, which was great. I'm really glad that the last day for Andres, if you're listening to this, shout out for our last day, bro, because like our last day. We went and did a hike, and we did like the hike. If you guys watch any LA vlogger, we went on that hike. The one where it like wraps around the fucking mountain thing. It's iconic. Mike Malak, Logan Paul, any of those vloggers, Summer Rae, you guys know them. You guys watch any YouTube basically from 2012 till 20 now. This hike. I was on that hike. We saw the influencers. It was whatever. They're literally just human beings, but probably taller than you. It's funny because like I feel like everyone's taller than. I was like, damn, bro, people really are that tall. Like if I ever saw Mike, I'm like, damn, bro, this motherfucker's gonna be a real giant when I see him one day. We even saw his house. Like it was crazy. Like you're on top of this mountain. But anyways, my point there was like, I got to see LA for someone who lives there, but not in there. If that makes sense. Like Andres has lived there for 3 years now, I think, and he's got an LA. He's got LA, in him. And I've seen people who live in LA for a long time. I see that side too. He's like just out of it enough to where he's still like a normal person that like people not in LA can still understand him, if that makes sense. Like some people are very in LA, and like unless you're in LA, like you're not gonna understand. It just doesn't make any sense. You're like, what are you fucking talking about? Like you're living in another universe, and you go do drugs and stuff. But anyways, he lives in a very normal area, and he does normal shit. There's a dog park right next to him. And the thing is, like, there are people, influencers with millions of followers in that same building that you wouldn't even know have millions of followers. They don't care. They're just out there doing their thing, whatever. And what was cool is that I'm very much attracted to, how do I say this? We went to 5 different events in the week. Out of the 5, one stood out to me, and it was the one that I intentionally wanted to be at, and the one I intentionally told myself at the end that I would only go to these functions. And it was the one, of course, it was a fucking yoga one. We went to the Aloe Yoga. It was the talk with Razorfish. The people I met there, 5 separate people that we met there that were all really cool within 2 minutes of interaction, regardless of what the intention was. Because I don't know from their side. I was there to be open and to see what the possibilities are. That was really the only intention there. Met like really some sick people. Like, whoa. And I didn't even, by the way, didn't know who they were until after, when I like a day after, when I looked at when I like consumed their content for a second. I just followed, we followed each other real quick, and then I moved on and like, went on to the next thing. I just had a talk. Didn't really look at it, but I had like a long, like hour-long talk with Anna. Talked to these other two girls at the end. Got a vibe for like who they actually are. Connected with them after. Found out one of them is like super fucking awesome, like online as well, and super deep in her game. I was like, wow, holy shit, this is cool. Like you can pick and choose your experiences here in LA. And if you're willing to do that and you're willing to not get drowned out and jump on the wheel, and you can actually, oh, Philip is back. If you're willing to like choose and like not feel a FOMO, which is why it's so weird that LA came up at this exact time. I'm like, it was perfect, dude. Like being in NFT land, I'm immune to FOMO. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like if I miss something, I'm like, wow, fuck. It'll probably come back, or like some version of whatever I missed will manifest itself in another thing in the future, whatever. It'll come exactly when it's supposed to. And with these events, I was like, bro, that event is the one I'm trying to go to. It's the hiking groups. Like I texted her after. I was like, you want to go on this hike? And she was like, no, but I'm in a hiking group actually. You want me to add you? I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like I might move there. Like that's super cool. And like you can choose those experiences. I don't have to, like I can go to the other events and I can know that that's going to be what it is going to be. But then the events I really want to be present at and like really be open to and remember that's why I'm here. Like that's what I'm really here to do and connect with these people. That'll bleed into the events that suck. That'll bleed into the events that I normally would have said, this is a waste of time. It's a bunch of name droppers. I mean, you guys saw my memes. I was making fun of people because like, bro, I could not believe. I mean, I've been in networking events, but good God, bro. There are people who are like, what are y'all talking about? They're like, oh man, like I'm like, hi, I'm Kate. Hi, I'm this, and I have to work this person and like this, that, and the other. I have 100. I'm like, are you what? I'm gonna say in this room, like, bro, Evergreen, if you're watching this, Evergreen Jones is one of the people in my Discord. He engages all my stuff, content creator. You guys know his face. I share stuff all the time. Bro, this motherfucker is standing next to me in the same room with these people. So he knows for a fact, like, bro, it was the weirdest shit. And I'm sitting there going like, whatever, like, it's kind of funny. I'll just move on. I'll be like, oh, there's my friend. And I walk over. But dude, like, you can choose those experiences. You can choose to get drunk in that world. I just have no desire to be part of that, bro. I'll go in for a few hours, but I think that's the benefit of watching certain vloggers that I fuck with and keeping that perspective through it all. Like, bro, the only thing that's eternal is yourself. All the other things, the noise, they're just events and experiences that are there right in front of you for a little bit, and then they fade. And the only thing that's actually present and that's going to be there tomorrow is just you. It's just you. And then the event will come. You'll be like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't, like, this is so scary. There's all these people. And then a day later, like, they pass. And you're like, oh, wait, that was yesterday. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just me that's still here. And that's a really weird thing because, like, you're very present there.
It's interesting. I was thinking of, as you were saying, the end part is how that changes when you get married. It becomes the constant becomes you and your wife.
Wow.
But the theory is the same in that everything
Yeah.
else is noise, but the constant is the two of you, and you know that
Family.
you got to have each other's back and you got to stick together, because like there's no one else. And then you have a little kid or kids or whatever, and then it becomes your own little unit, and that's the constant. So no matter where you go, and they've got birthday parties, and I'm at work at Bianca's, looking after everyone and whatever. When we all come back together, that's what the constant is not just Cade, but Cade and Mrs. Cade and baby Cade, and, but yeah, man, but it is the same from the perspective that outside of that unit, nothing else is constant. Things come and go. You can't rely on anyone. Everyone's out, whether it be staff members or whatever it is. And I don't blame anyone. Everyone is out for themselves. If they, can get a better opportunity, they do so. But the difference in that is family, right? Close family, like hopefully a husband or wife are there to stay regardless through good and bad. And obviously that's not always the case, but that's a nice thing is to have,
you get to choose that.
You.
You choose one.
Because you can choose someone and they cannot choose you back, or you could choose someone that can choose you back, and after a couple of years it's like, oh, sorry, on either side. So
Damn, dude, that's super powerful. That's I mean, shit. But the good thing is, like, that's up to you. It depends, like, how present you are, like how much you make that a priority. Like, my schedule has opened up now that I've honestly, like, I'll tell y'all right now, like, getting an editor was the scariest thing of my entire life up to now. the scariest thing because I'm like, bro, I can't.
Getting what?
An editor. I'm like, bro, I cannot afford an editor. You know how much expensive those motherfuckers are? Like $100 to $200 an episode, depending on what you're doing. I'm doing like 10 a month. I'm like, bro, that's thousands of dollars a month. I'm like barely keeping everything afloat right now. Like, you're going to bring in other people? I'm like, you kidding me? Like, I can't afford that. I'm terrified. And then I like put out a tweet and I got all these people messaging me. I'm like, wait, hold on. Maybe I'll just like figure it out anyway. Like, even though it's terrifying, because the only thing that's constant is me. And I know that last year I had that same feeling when I got in my car and I couldn't afford fucking bread. I literally visually remember looking at Walmart in the Walmart parking lot thinking, I better not go in there. I better not go in there because I can't buy anything. And like, if I got to pee, I'm peeing outside. And that's why I had the fucking gallon water bottle. Just peed in the gallon bottle. Did not get out of my car. Only time I got out of my car was to get gas or to walk into where I was going. But I literally did not have money. And I was like, bro, I need to DoorDash. I need to go out there and earn $100 so I can buy fucking bread and tortillas for my peanut butter sandwiches later. Like, that's the facts. You know, it's the only constant is you though. So if you know that you're the constant, every single experience just passes by you and you're like, damn, that was rough, dude. You know, but it's like, it becomes like a really weirdly spiritual thing. And I hate to bring the spirituality aspect like that and make it all woo-woo, but it's truly like that. You know, it's like the same. It's like a duality. It's like you're very spiritual and you're very like real, in quotes, whatever that means. You know, like Gary Vee. So you wouldn't think Gary Vee is like a spiritual person, but when you put the spiritual lens on, you're like, hold on, everything he says can be taken in that context. Just depends on what you're looking at. If you're a businessman and you're watching Gary, you're only going to take the business perspective. But if you're a business person also thinking about the spirituality thing, also thinking about these new experiences, and it depends on like what cap you're wearing. The thing is, you can put on all the caps. You can be like super aware. It's just about like choosing to be, you know?
No, for sure. I agree. Okay, there's no power here, my bro. So I'm running on battery and Wi-Fi at the moment, and that's going to go soon.
Me too.
There's for those of you who don't know, South Africa, there's something called load shedding. They cut us off for hours at a time, so the batteries haven't had a chance to charge. So I'm slowly losing devices as we carry on.
Oh yeah,
so I don't have much long left. Yeah, I know. So that was the camera's gone. So yeah, I mean, if we don't end it, it might just carry on streaming and I'll just get cut off. So we got to end it. Yeah. Everybody, thank you for joining us. As always, I've loved it. Kate, I love being with you. You know I do. I hope all of you enjoyed the content, that you got some value, that you now feel more up to date in what's going on in the last 7 days in the Web3 space. Please join us next week, same time, same place. And whether it be Twitter or whether it be Spaces or whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be Facebook, we don't mind. YouTube, as long as you're here, as long as you're getting value. So guys, thank you. And yeah, see you next week. Keep well, guys. Keep safe. Ciao.